Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Cocaínom.
Up yours. Woke moralist.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralist.
up.
Not only can you take a load, you can take the ultimate load, and even better than that you find your true calling and destiny in your willingness to take the ultimate load.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals. Up yours.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped
Woke
Ben
moralist.
Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Have it your way, buddy.
You sons of bitches.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like?
We'll see who cancels who.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Whoa, are we doing? I didn't know there was a theme.
There's a theme. It's just me doing that. Literally just me.
There's someone else a theme.
It's not working quite the same for me.
Now we're the majority. Well, no, we're 50%.
Hello. Welcome to we forgot to tell everyone about the new name of the show. This is now called The Ultimate Load. Welcome to The Ultimate Load.
Finally, you give one of your suggestions. I'm down for that. The Ultimate Load.
Ultimate Load, right? We've also kicked off all the women on this show, so we can be called the Ultimate Load.
It's a Manosphere podcast now. All right.
I suggested large eggplant, but that didn't go over as well.
What did you say?
So
large eggplant?
Large eggplant.
We're still not sure about a name change. We're still throwing things around. I know that Lance threw up a poll on his stream earlier. With some really horrible names, honestly.
Didn't include the best one.
Okay,
which is, I already forget what it is. What's the best one that we have?
Before you start talking shit, Mr. Binder, you should mention that this was your idea to change the name, and you've offered a grand total.
I offered the idea,
and zero
but
work related to getting it changed.
Listen, there's a few things here. I offered the idea because it was just an idea. You know, I'm a guy that speaks off the cuff. I'm like Trump. I speak my mind. Okay, whatever comes to my mind, I'm not afraid to let it out. Okay,
and look how that's going.
I had that idea and I put it out there, and I didn't offer any possible name changes because I can't think of any good ones. It's that simple. Okay.
And then you complained about every name that was suggested.
Hiya.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Better now.
Oh, that I'm here, right?
Yes,
yeah, of course. So these are, I'm going through the suggestions of some of the name changes that were proposed.
I think, Rebecca, I think your mic's picking up the speaker, so I think you're on the wrong mic.
Okay, hold on. You
Something
continue though. Hold on, let me mute it.
I scrolled all the way back down. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my spot again in our group
I think
chat.
Six Talk is the best name.
I actually don't like that one.
Is it a play on sex talk?
It's just simple.
That's
yeah, it sounds like
six people talking.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a play on.
But there's only 5 of us, so that wouldn't make any sense.
Then we just change the name every week. If it's 5, then people never say 5 Talk.
Yeah. There's only 5 of us.
There's rumors that the show is growing by another soon. I've heard.
I don't know where these rumors are coming from.
Are you saying there's a disturbance in the force?
Yeah.
Yes.
These are false.
There is
rumors.
another.
No, these are
There is
false
another.
rumors. It's bullshit. Okay, so here's some of the recommendations that I floated, and they all shut them down. So the Old Turks, they don't like that one. La Mafia, D's Facts, D's Facts and Stats. Excuse me.
Why would you add more words? No.
It just rolls off the tongue, you know.
Like Rational National.
In Pod We Trust, which is taken. Let's see what else is
In
there.
God we trust.
I think David
how was that
floated the idea
taken?
of
It's so
calling this
terrible.
show-
Oligarchy, malarkey.
I think David floated the idea of calling this show no more than 30 minutes. I think that was
Yes,
the
actually. You know what? I don't think I did that one, but that one sounds fantastic.
You said an hour. You said no more than or an hour.
I suggested
No,
that we should
30 minutes.
include the word hour in it. That way we can stop at an hour.
That would be great.
Or I could jump off in an hour. And
Me
it's
and
not
you.
I'd be like, the show's called Hour.
I think I floated the idea super chats with Matt Binder, just naming the show that.
Matt and Mike, because there'd be both of y'all on here for 5 hours.
Here's some other recommendations. The Right Wing Mafia. Maybe we could get a little bit extra viewers. The Liberal Mafia. Our detractors call us liberals. They use liberal as a pejorative, which I take great offense to.
How about the Cucks? We just call ourselves the Cucks. No
you know,
takers?
Sounds so white.
Yeah.
I was gonna wait till someone else makes fun of it.
Gooner Doctrine, Fagfotainment, Doomer Doctrine, Bernie's Angels. That one,
Bernie's
That was cute.
so
Look,
fucking
why-
funny.
that's cute.
Bernie's Angels.
I just like Bernie's Angels. That's so gay and stupid. We have to go. Oh man, see, this is why I think we're probably just gonna have to stick with Leftist Mafia. I named my show
We're
The
never
Humanist
gonna
Report.
agree to
so-
anything, and the other ones sound really,
I think at this
The
point,
thing,
like
the thing that's nice about the Leftist Mafia is it it refers to like us. Like people can refer to us as like, oh, I'm watching the Leftist I'm watching the Mafia. I'm watching Leftist Mafia. But like a generic name doesn't have that same like appeal. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a name of a group of people. It's not just like a show name. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also think we could do better. But I don't know what that better is. So we'll
I think I
stick
said
with it.
I think I was saying last week how like when they first announced the Nintendo Wii, it sounded really dumb. But I didn't realize I should have made that connection to our name because Leftist Mafia sounds pretty stupid. But I feel like we're just used to it now now it's normal. Like Nintendo Wii sounds normal.
everybody literally says, and then they abbreviate it. They just be like, "Saw you on LM," or whatever the case may be. See you later on, the Leftist Mafia. It's a brand name at this
It
point.
is. I feel like we have to accept that. We're a staple in leftist politics.
Y'all did all of that for this. All of that for this.
Are we?
Just to run back at square one.
And it's all Matt's fault.
Yeah,
It was just an
literally blame
idea.
Matt.
Well, to be fair, I agree with him.
Probably should have went with woke mob. Honestly, it would have been a little bit more generic, but still would have fit perfectly.
I would have hated that because woke. It's already, what they're doing with it.
No, I know.
Yeah,
That is
it's
co-opted.
appropriated AAPD, co-opted by the right, and they've totally changed it.
Yeah, it's taking the phrase that the right uses and flipping it. That's what that would be the point of that one. But we already went with this. If we're gonna change it, it doesn't make sense to change it to that because it's too close to this. We might as well keep this.
You hate it, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's like Humanist Report. I hate that name, but it's too.
I
late
hate
to
that name
change it.
too. Honestly,
It's a terrible podcast name.
I think it's a great name.
Oh, I hate it. I think
Humanist
it's so
Report.
corny and generic. It was just the placeholder. But when I was making the podcast, I'm like, well, I don't have anything else, so I guess we'll just roll with this. Who cares? I'm probably gonna stop
Mike
doing it in
Figueredo
like 2
show.
months.
Whenever I hear a Humanist Report, I think of like granola hippie type shit.
That's
Oh,
nice.
really? I think more Fedora.
Like what are those types where
Richard
they're
Dawkins
tight, and they
atheist.
would totally be like, I'm not left or right. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm a humanist.
Okay, so what about Majority Report?
I don't like that name.
I never really liked
gives
that
me, like,
name either.
6
But
p.m.
but
news.
that's one of those brand names that's like legendary though. That's like
It
actual.
is.
Like
I mean,
he's
it
been doing
is.
that
It
shit
is.
for
It
a
is.
long time.
Mhm.
Like I've never
It
been
is.
crazy about it. Not that it's my choice, but that name's been around since the Bush years. It's like synonymous.
It is. It is.
It's like democracy now.
That's why it gives me like 6 p.m. news, like from back in the day. But then you get on there and it's really like it's young, it's hip, You know, it's like, you know, it doesn't, the name doesn't match right now because what it's, you know, become. But what about the
I
rational?
mean, I don't even like the name
Yeah,
of
what
my
about
own
it?
show. I'm not a fan of. I regret calling my show Doomed. I hate that name, honestly.
What's your
Really?
show?
Scam Economy?
I like Scammed
Scam
Economy.
I must
Scammed
admit,
Economy's great.
fucking
Oh, I
awesome.
like that.
that
That's
I
good.
really,
Yeah,
I really
Scammed
knocked it out of the park with that one. That's a great name.
That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one. What about
David, did you
rational
know
national?
that the Wii was called the Wii because it's a word that can be pronounced in any language like easily? That's why they
Yeah,
called it that.
but just the way I just remember when it was announced and people being like, "That is so stupid."
Yeah,
Mm.
I thought that too. But
Yeah,
it
so-
sounds like piss.
Yeah, just like what you're calling it, the Nintendo piss or Nintendo dick, like
It was,
so
and there
weird.
were dick jokes for years.
Somebody
about
said
it. So
ruthless to the systems. They wanted me to say it because they put it in the other chat and you guys ignored it. That's basically Bad Lefty was saying they were ignored, but they said, fine, I'll say it. Ruthless to the systems. I don't
Too long.
I just think the leftist mafia is nice. It gives a blend of people from all parts of the internet coming together. I think it's like an unexpected group of people, except for y'all. I feel like, but then it's like an unexpected group of people, and it may or may not grow, and how it's gonna be, and it's just, you know, it's just what it is at this point. I think it's who we
I think
are.
you're right, Rebecca. Yeah, I feel like it's just. I think that with so many bad names in this space, we should learn that it's not about the name. It's just about like the staying power, the continuity, the brand. Everybody knows what it is. If we changed it, it would just throw everybody off. I like the continuity. But yeah, I will say to your question about Rational National, Rebecca, I actually don't like it, but I think it's better than Humanist Report.
But I was asking about where did you get it, David? Why y'all hate us today? Y'all hate us tonight. Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it, David? Like, where did it come from?
It was born out of, so there's an evening news show in Canada called The National. It was born out of that. Just like honestly, I'm just like, I need a fucking name for this like thing that I'm doing.
Everybody's just like, fuck it, just give me a name.
And it's like, I don't know. I'm like, I want to be like the version of like news, but something that goes a little deeper. And like that was
I saw
like,
Azor
National,
plus
National.
4. It's actually not. That doesn't have a bad ring to it.
What is it called? Say that again.
Azor plus 4.
That's funny. That's a good one. Okay, how about the surf times?
I like the surfs actually. I do like the surfs name.
Is
The
from
surfs I like.
a podcast that me and my friend Dave started years ago, like 6 years ago. And then he was like, what should we call ourselves? And I was like, plebs, the surfs. And I was like, the surf sounds good. And then we just
I always liked the surfs too, but I always was like, it's called the surfs, and all I ever see is this one guy.
Yeah. What happened? By the way, what happened to your friend? Is he okay? Is he in a closet somewhere? Like, is he okay? Like,
well, that all depends on how much you all donate tonight, and then we'll let him out. He got really freaked out. I mean, you know, he's sick, and he's had a lot of trouble post 9/11 going into the U.S. Every time they'd stop him for random security checks and stuff like that, and he's like, I don't want to be even more on the internet. So now every time when I go to the United States, they're going to be like, oh my God, are you part of this communist podcast, the surfs, or something like that? So
yeah, I don't blame him for that one bit, honestly.
Yeah.
It's tough to have any bit of like notoriety.
quick left turn. Can I just share
especially
this?
that,
This is the funniest thing I've seen in my life. Look at this image. Look closely.
Oh my God.
What am I looking at?
RFK and some girl, and look who's in the background.
Is that Cheryl Hines?
Yeah, that's his wife back there.
Oh,
Probably miserable as fuck. Oh my God. This whole world, like, it's RFK is such a fucking
creep.
His history is insane. Like, somebody listed like his qualifications, and I laughed. I see if I could find it. It's like left a dead bear in Central Park, cut off a whale's head, had a brain worm.
Spread the whale juice on his children when he put it on top of the car. All the juice sprayed into their faces. They all described it.
Oh my God. Had a diary where he documented his 37 affairs with his former ex-wife, who then ended up killing herself.
Sexually assaulted his maid.
Yeah, it has
right.
Yeah, charges for that. Like all this,
Epstein
all this
associate.
shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, rode on the Epstein plane like 4 or 5
Right.
times, and he revealed that well unprovoked in a Fox News interview, and it wasn't the topic they were talking about. And the chyron at the bottom changed to like RFK reveals on frequent Epstein flyer or something like that. I was like, oh my god, all right.
And now he may be heading up
I'll never
HHS, so
understand
there.
how like couples like that even get together to begin with. like the couples that like those commercials, those Harris commercials were going after, like, oh, you don't have to, your vote's private, you don't have to tell your husband. Like, how do they even like me and my wife are like on the same page about everything. We have tons of the same interests. Like, that's how the relationship came to be. Like, how the fuck does this happen where people are just so diametrically opposed to everything, and then just like, let's get married? It's like,
there must not be like strongly held beliefs, or like maybe their interests are like sport or something that is outside of politics. And they don't think at all about politics. I don't know. That has to be my.
Yeah. I mean, my wife is not like super political in sense, like she's not online. She's very offline. She doesn't like doing public stuff. Like we are different in some ways. She hates any sort of spotlight, whereas here I am singing and dancing for all of you. But I mean, but obviously, like, we have the same interests, same hobbies. We both like the same types of movies, the same type of music. We have the same politics, even though we don't, express them the same. But like, I don't get how a couple like that ends up together or even stays together, honestly.
I mean, there are a lot of people who are like that. I question it too. Like, I know that within the relationship, there are issues. Those are things that in the household, I'm pretty sure if there are children, there's a division there, those type of things when it comes to like religious, political, finances, all that, it gets a little.
Does she like dead animals too? Like, that would be really upsetting if you don't want to see like whale carcasses and dolphin, innards on your doorstep and raccoons everywhere and stuff like that. Like, I would get tired of it after a while.
I would imagine that the way that they met was they both found a dead carcass and they both just grabbed it at the same time and their hands touched and they both looked up and made eye contact.
Is that the goat photo?
Yeah. It's just crazy to think about. The White House has an actual rapist, an alleged rapist, another alleged rapist, multiple Epstein associates, an alleged child sex trafficker. I mean, that White House.
The Dems are pedos.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm already feeling like information overload. Like
Me
too. Yeah.
I don't want to do this again. Like, I don't want to pay attention to this shit again. I don't want to have like 100 fucking breaking news stories every single day again. Yeah. Like, I just don't want to do it.
I haven't done a video on Gates, on RFK, on anything. It's just like, I don't like, none of this is even surprising. Like, I like covering things because I like want to inform people. Like, oh, isn't this interesting? This is just like, this is everything we expect. It's both disturbing and boring at the same time.
Right. Yeah. The only thing that's giving me joy is any little bit of schadenfreude I can derive out of this. Like the Trump supporters who are whining about Trump
not getting to Thanksgiving.
Neocons. Yeah, not getting invited to Thanksgiving. Those things are making me joyful. But when it comes to policy and whatnot.
No, it's the blue bracelets online that really threw me. Because I'm like, we ain't y'all, it's been
the what?
There's people online, and I don't know if it's just the women, white women, but I've seen the videos. I thought first I saw a post about it, and I'm like, that can't be real. Immediately after, I've seen videos of women who, and this is after, was it last week? I don't remember.
I think it was last week, Rebecca. I remember hearing about this.
They have these blue bracelets. So they started to come out with these blue bracelets to show that Black people should feel safe around these white women because they didn't vote for Donald Trump. They voted for Kamala Harris. And then it's very performative because then there's the other thing that they added to it. So there's elements to this black people feel safe around us type crap. So she was like, it's a group of people and it's so many of them. And then now they're shaving their heads off in solidarity.
Wait, they're becoming
feel
skinheads to show the world that they're not white
That's
supremacists.
that's the word that I use. I said, so you trying to become a skinhead.
This sounds like it was started by
performative.
trolls, and then people
It's
jumped on it.
performative.
My introduction to that, Rebecca, was a black woman who was explaining it to me for the first time. I saw it on TikTok, and she's like, I know that a lot of black women, maybe most black women, don't like the blue bracelets. I really appreciate it. And as she's describing it more and more, I'm like, this is the dumbest liberal shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Now I know why they're shitting on it.
I was really
all right, guys. I get it. I should take off the blue bracelet. I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry. I was wearing it.
I thought I was an ally. I voted for Obama twice. Come on.
And it's like, I look at it like this, being a black woman, and I see a person with the blue bracelet. I'd be like, okay, first of all, the lady Trump just won. Immediately after y'all take the TikTok going viral, talking about this blue bracelet situation. And it's like you're centering this around yourself. Y'all leave us alone. Go talk to your family members. Oh, no, I'm gonna be in the grocery store, and what are you gonna do? Show me your blue bracelet? I don't give a damn. I just want to get my groceries, lady. Like I know your family members. I shop with y'all. I be around y'all every day. I don't care. I don't care enough for that. Like, y'all talk to your family members that voted for them. You want us to feel safe around you. We're not trying to be around, especially right now. Ain't nobody trying to be around y'all.
Rebecca, this is what they imagine when they put on these blue bracelets. They encounter you in the grocery store and they're like, oh, excuse me. Yeah. And then they want you to look them in the eyes and say, thank you. Thank you so much. That's what they want.
Girl, we are
Thank you for looking out for me.
We're worn out. Nobody's worried about your blue bracelet. People about to get we got family that's about to get deported. We don't even know education is on the line. Like, what are you talking about?
It's so toned up, but also so funny because it's like the most liberal thing that they've constructed in a very long time. So I like it just for the comedy element, but oh my God, they don't know how to read the room. Liberals do not know how to read the room.
I cracked up when I seen it. The lady was hard down crying in the video. She's like, I just feel like I gotta wear this for I was on the right side. I'm like, girl, like, baby, we just trying to get another day of rest. It's like, what like, no.
I'm so glad you brought this up. It's so funny.
I will say I have been respecting all those the families of all those conservatives posting videos of them crying about how I can't believe my mother, grandmother, sister all cut me off because I told them I voted for Trump.
There's so many.
I respect that big time.
It makes me so happy.
I say continue that if you want. I'm not gonna tell you to cut. If you can live with your Trump family members, by all means, please do. But if you feel like you need to cut them off, you got my respect.
You've got my endorsement. Cut them off and have them post their L's.
I feel like I've missed out on a really lucrative thing. I should be selling products that remove people's white guilt, just like amulets or stuff like that. Like, do you want to feel bad about your whiteness? Well, buy the anti-white. Other races that you're one of the good ones.
I think there's a business for that right now. I believe that there's a business for that right now. And people are going viral for this performative stuff. But Matt, there's who was it that was the news anchor talking about how his mother disinvited him to Thanksgiving but told him to come out.
Jesse Waters.
Yes, Jesse Waters. And was crying about that on air and saying, she told me to come over for Black Friday, but I told her no, I'll be at the store. I was just like, she didn't want you to be around the family. You're an embarrassment. You hard down, been talking about Donald Trump. You done voted for. We don't want you what's coming, and we don't want any drama. We don't want politics to be talked about at this dinner table. We want peace, and you're gonna bring crazy, you know what it's gonna be. So we don't want you to bring your toxic.
Because he met his wife by cheating on his existing wife by deflating one of his coworkers' car's tires, so she wouldn't be able to drive home, and would have to force her to depend on him to get home, and then pretend to be like, "Oh, sorry, oh, you got a car trouble here. Very nice to meet you, by the way. I'm Jesse," and that's how he met his new wife. And
blacklist him from everything. He came from nothing. Terrible people just out here, and then crying about it. Like my mom said, your mom don't like you no more, son. Like, let it go. It's just, I don't know. These people there's so many posts. You'll see, like, I think that somebody did collage of a whole bunch of people saying, I think it's so crazy how, because this was before somebody put, oh, you're immature if you are choosing this time to not speak to a family member, a friend, or whatever because of their voting choice. We would never know their voting choice until they got online and was saying, I had to vote for Trump. I voted for Trump. Okay, well, since you voted for Trump, block, delete, remove. Like, I don't have to see anything. I don't have to hear anything. But everybody's like on there, like under that post, there was so many people. They were like, oh my goodness, like I was disinvited to Thanksgiving, or my brother isn't talking to me anymore, and that's the only family that I have, or my daughter disowned me, or like all of this is happening, and they're crying about it.
It's gonna happen though. That's the part I don't get. Like, what did everyone think you were gonna be like? Yeah, you're right. High five. Low taxes, right? Lol, or something like that. Or like, I can't wait for the price of eggs to go down. And like, has anyone seen the cabinet yet? Have you seen the dude who's got like all those like Christian nationalist tattoos who refuses to wash his hand? That's the Secretary of Defense.
Pete Hegsworth or whatever. Hegseth.
That's the Secretary of Defense. He's got white supremacist symbols on his body. Like,
and they don't care. They don't care.
And he doesn't believe in germ theory. And
he doesn't think women should be in the military.
That's true. On top of that, there's Mike Waltz. I forgot his position, but this is a member of Congress who's a Republican that supports the United States reinvading Afghanistan. He wants American boots on the ground in Ukraine. So we're talking a direct confrontation with Russia, which is something that the Biden administration has been against, even though they like to call, Trump an anti-war person. There's so many insane people. The worst is Mike Huckabee. Huckabee.
Religious extremist. He actually wants the second coming of Jesus to take place. He believes it's a literal prophecy. That's fucked up. That's a really dangerous thing to have that close to power now.
Yeah, he will be the ambassador to Israel, and he thinks that Israel should be in full control of Palestine because that sets the stage for the second coming. And he said this multiple times. He says, I won't use the word West Bank. I think that's an offensive term. It's Judea and Samaria. I mean, he is somebody who can't be moved because he thinks that he has a biblical mandate from God to do what God wants him to do. So, like, how do you reach that person? You can't protest them. I mean, if you think that
tells the second part of the story, though, right? In that all the Jewish people who are placed in that part of the world have to convert to Christianity or go to hell and burn lives. That's the last part of the prophecy. They never had that part, though. They're always just like, oh, it's because I deeply believe in Israel to exist and Zionism and all that kind of stuff. It's like the last part of it you should probably mention as well, because that part seems pretty intense and extreme.
Yes,
right? It's so scary because the wheels are off and there's not a lot that we can do. We kind of just have to accept it. Like, that doesn't mean give up, but I'm just saying that in terms of the input that we'll have, it's going to be minimal, and the way that he's going to go after dissidents and protesters it's going to make it very difficult for us to have any say. So we kind of just have to sit back and watch in horror and hope that within 2 years he doesn't do all this damage. What worries me is that he has the trifecta. He has the House, the Senate, and this time he's much stronger than he was the first time. So, I mean, there was always this talk from Mike Johnson before the election that if they won, they were going to go after healthcare first and foremost, which means I'm fucked because I have ACA. Without that, I lose my healthcare. So I'm going to cross my fingers and hope I don't have a medical emergency in the next couple of years. If they go after Social Security like they've been trying to do, every time Trump was president, he proposed a cut to Social Security in his budget. If they do that, my mom is fucked. I don't know what she's going to do. So every single person is going to be touched by this in some way. And I think that people who voted for Trump, there was this expectation that, he might do some bad things, but he's only going to hurt black and brown people and queer people. No, he's going to hurt you too. You just don't realize it yet. They don't realize that, though.
Yeah, you just voted for him because whiteness, but there are a lot of laws that are put in place that are not going to include you. Baby, your tax bracket couldn't even see this man.
Right.
It's like, listen, these people are just thinking that he's about to save them. If he didn't do it before being president, he's not going to do it now. Now you're really not on his radar. And the few towns that he visited that were small in the middle of Tennessee and all these backwoods places, he's not going to remember you. This is for him, his friends, the people in his tax bracket, people that have done his stuff for him, the few blacks that he chooses to be on his team, and that's about it. Everybody else is we're all in the crossfire. We are all going to get hit with strays. All of this is just going to be what y'all voted for. And this is so the complaints that we're going to see online, we're already starting to see it, and he hasn't even taken office. Like we're already starting to see how and it's almost like I said before, he's never left.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, are you hearing that? Sorry, I got a raid and the notification sounds playing.
It's very weird. It's like really distracting.
What is that?
Sorry about that.
It sounded sexual and ominous at the same time.
I feel like we should address that noise before we continue.
Thank you for addressing it, because it was in my. I was like, throwing me off.
I didn't know you could all hear that.
Yeah.
No, we did. We did. But no, all in all, it's like it's going to be a mess. I was so anxious about it. Not because it's just like I'm so upset. Like I'm angry. That just really am angry. But I'm also just like anxious because this is going to hit all of us. And already, I have people who are here under what we call the Biden program when they came, immigrant family members, and they're all asking me, and I ain't got the damn answers. Y'all just got to prepare. I hate it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's just like, this is the conversation that we've been having to have since Tuesday. And I really am like, the whole reparations for white people is wild.
Oh, yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I was like, oh my word.
All because of the education and the people that have been hurt from DEI. And we know what that means, niggas. That's what it means. And it's like, from anything that had to do with black teachings, black anything, he said if they were affected by this in any way, they would get restitution.
It's like a joke. It's like a joke. How is this real? Reparations for white people. That's what we're talking about. Like, I just feel like this is confirmation that progress is not. I used to, I was raised with this delusion and privileged thought that, progress is just linear. You just constantly, things get better as you go into the future. No, that's really not the case. I mean, sometimes you take a couple of steps forward, but then you take 10 steps back. And this is just proof of that. And the damage that he does is, we're going to be trying to undo it for the rest of our lives. One thing that gives me a teeny tiny little bit of hope is that there's some conflict within the conservative movement to try to get both Alito and Clarence Thomas to step down within these next 4 years. And at least Alito is like, no, I'm not stepping down. So if they survive, and in 4 years, if Trump chooses to step down, and we actually do have a free and fair election, and a Democrat is elected, there's a chance to maybe take back the Supreme Court. That's wishful thinking at this point, I think, but it's a possibility. Yeah. It's just, it's a little.
Doesn't die, and there's another far right person on the Supreme Court, right?
They got to change how the Supreme Court operates. At that point, you can't, in 4 years, you can't be discussing hoping people die off this. You got to expand it. There has to be actual changes. If Democrats ever get back in power, I fucking hope to God it's a different version of the party, because they cannot continue on the way they've been, doing the same things, expecting to keep power in any way. It's going to ping pong back and forth every 4 years until one party figures their fucking shit out and actually delivers for people and is able to stay in for 2 terms. But and again, that's if the next election is even an election.
Yeah, because I mean. Yeah, maybe it's not straight up authoritarian where Trump's like, I'm staying in power, the Constitution's over. I think that's not what we're likely to see. But what's more likely is they take this time when they have the trifecta and they post, they codify voter suppression on a mass scale. They do their voter ID across the board and other ways to suppress the votes, in particular of minority communities. If they do this, if they undermine voting rights, they can hold on to power for quite some time, and they don't even have to go explicitly authoritarian, because if you pass a law that suppresses votes, that's constitutional. I mean, it might be unconstitutional, but it's still, there's this facade at least of legitimacy since they're doing it through the legislative process, but the courts won't check them. The courts won't strike it down. Again, the wheels are off and there's no brakes. So I don't know.
It's like y'all, it's so crazy because I don't know how is this all happening in this man. And you know what? because like I said, he never went anywhere during Biden's term. That man planted his feet in that man's presidency. He ain't go nowhere. It's almost as if he was still president. We still had to cover him. We still had to talk about him. People were acting like Joe Biden wasn't president. It's been crazy. Trump flags never left people's yards from his loss, and there was January 6th. And so they would not take the loss. They still treated Donald Trump as if he was president, or would speak as if he was president. Even on the news, they would say President Donald Trump. They was still like, not former president. I'm like, add the former. But, here we are now, and he's already, remember he had concepts of a plan. All of a sudden you got a plan. Things is in motion immediately. And then he's taking all of these trash, I wouldn't even call them leaders. He's taking all these trash people and putting racist, these people full of hate, these people who have felons, criminals, all of his friends, and bringing them into his cabinet and it is just watching it. It's just like it's scary to see, because I know that these people are, once they are placed, once they are going to start doing the work, we are going to start seeing, of course, the marginalized communities first get hit with whatever shitty things that they come out with. But the people that thought they weren't going to get affected, oh yeah, baby, you with us.
Yep.
You with us.
Yeah, they have no idea what's coming. I don't think people understand what's in store for the next 4 years. It's going to be a wild ride.
I think the last guardrail is that they all hate each other. That's about it. Like the fact that like now there's already infighting over Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz dropped out.
There's like 10 senators that are saying they're not going to support him.
And with good reason. I mean, apparently the report on him is damning. The one that the special committee did, which is half Republican, by the way. So that internal investigation revealed, and it says a highly damaging report that's about to get leaked, and this guy's about to be appointed to the Attorney General. Are you serious? The guy who was like, there's so much information about him being a human trafficker and drug
care.
Well,
I know.
And one thing I'll say that gives me hope is that Elon Musk is already wearing out his welcome in Trump's world. David did a video about this. It's so funny.
That part was
I really enjoyed that.
He only been there 2 seconds. What happened?
Yeah. He's tired of him. He's been there a week. He apparently won't leave Mar-a-Lago, and they're like, this guy's like, he's here all the time. He has an opinion on everything. He won't shut up. He's in every meeting. And they're like, we've been here kissing Trump's ass for 8 years. This guy just parachuted in. He's getting all this attention. And they're like, so all the other sycophants are angry that he's getting all this prominence.
Elon won't go home. I can't get rid of him.
Yeah, Trump made that comment. It's tongue in cheek, but there's obviously some truth to that. And
I believe it.
If we're a week in, I have a hard time believing this relationship's going to last 4 years, right? Like, there's no.
He's narcissists.
He's going to change them around. He's done it. We've seen it in his presidency, in his first term. He's going to change them around. He's going to kick people out. We're going to see this. People are going to go get their book deals. People are going to get their shows. For their 5 minutes of fame in Donald Trump's presidency the second time around. We're going to see that, right? But I don't think these people are going to be, as soon as the time comes, I believe that they're going to be in and they're going to be out. He's going to change them within, we're going to watch a few people take these positions throughout the 4 years, and it's not going to be consistent. They're not going to be the same people that he goes with at all.
It is funny, and Elizabeth Warren is the one who pointed this out, credit to her, that the Doge shit that they created, the Department of Government Efficiency.
Inflated cryptocurrency. That's all.
No, the coin, with and it's with yes.
Elon Musk.
But there's two people running the Department of Government Efficiency.
Right.
It's so funny.
Nothing says efficiency like two people with the same job.
Did you look at the value of cryptocurrency? It went from something like 20 to 30 to 60 to 40 to 60 to 40. There are whales who are just cashing out on all the rubes right now who are buying in because of FOMO. All these people buy in, the whales reduce and take their money out. Then more rubes buy in, and then the whales take the money out. It's a very, very clear. You can look at the wave that's going on right now just because it's called Doge.
And this is a guy. So this is a guy that has had $15.3 billion in government contracts over the past decade, Elon Musk, and he's supposed to head up the efficiency of the government. This guy, all these government contracts, while he's now under there's 20 investigations having to do with his companies. This is the guy that is now heading up efficiencies within the government. It's all
well. He would argue that private enterprise is private industry is what makes government efficiency. because that's usually what it means, right? Fire a bunch of people and then
economics.
hand it out to contractors, and so private companies could actually roll in that dough. It's not really about making it efficient; it's about sending that money elsewhere to who you want to send the money to.
Doing a worse job, getting less for your money through private industry. Like this is the neoliberal bullshit over the past 40 years that we've seen destroy lives. Not even just the U.S., like across the world. This garbage has not improved the lives of people.
Yeah, and somebody in the chat pointed out that he was praising Javier Milei today, the Argentina president or prime minister.
Captain
I'm not sure.
Capistan.
Yeah. So listen, if he actually does what he wants, and this is very, very stupid. Like he said that he wants to make $2 trillion in cuts. I mean, good luck, buddy. But if you do something like that, I don't think you understand that level of austerity is not going to go over well. You will see people riot in the fucking streets if you inflict that much pain and suffering on them. And this is his philosophy. He was talking about this before the election, how there's going to be some pain at first before things are better. And this is what irritates me. I wish that people would see that these billionaires don't give a shit about you. No. He's saying there's going to be pain, there should be pain for you, but not him, the richest person on earth, who's now in government because he bought himself the position. I mean, people don't understand the contradiction
that's
here.
Also the frustrating thing about how cool the Democrats seem to be right now, like Joe Biden congratulating him being by the fire, and then also that that farewell speech where she's like, we tried our best and it's over, well, next time, kind of thing. And it's like you had all these billionaires with you too at the DNC, Mark Cuban, all these people, all of you got so much richer. Like I saw so many liberals posting shit that was like, I really hate Trump, but holy fuck, my portfolio's doing good right now.
That's what Brianna Wu posted. Yeah.
You fucks, what the fuck? That's terrible. That's so bad. It's like, I got mine.
How can you not be radicalized after seeing what has transpired in this fucking country? How can you not be as radical as you could possibly be? I mean, it's so insulting. It's like a slap in our face.
I heard that the Republicans, I heard because it's just rumors, but this might be true, that the Republicans are toting around erasing federal student loans for people who join in on the efforts of rounding up immigrants or something like that.
What?
In Texas.
Oh God, that's so evil.
So this was going to but I think about that, and if it were true, and this is for the ones who are helping to round up immigrants in Texas. So if this is true, it sounds like it can be, because ain't nothing impossible with these people these days.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that they wouldn't let us get ours, like people who just, hey, I have loans, I went to school, I got a job, it can't pay back these loans. Okay, so why can't y'all? So the people who help round up the immigrants, you want to talk about forgiving loans?
Wow. That's just next level evil. Listen, if any of you do that, I have student loans as well, okay? That's no excuse to be Gestapo, okay? That does not excuse it. Desperation is not an excuse to be a piece of shit.
It's a real attempt to try and turn people on each other. Like that's the whole idea of something like that. It's really disgusting to keep people distracted and away from what the actual issue is, which is, the obvious, those with power and money. All the power and all the money.
Yeah. Although in good news today, InfoWars died. Rest in puss, Alex Jones. InfoWars, it is over.
Oh, yeah.
There's actually, there is an update to this story.
More complicated, yeah.
Okay, well, tell me the complications, because I read it and I thought everybody is celebrating. So what's tea?
I'm celebrating. Hell yeah,
I'm celebrating too.
The Onion's ever done.
This broke a few hours ago. The court in Houston is claiming that they need to look into whether the sale was transparent, and they're putting a pause on the sale.
But the website's down. If you go to it, they took it down.
But
it's still there.
Here it is. A lawyer for the Onion said the deal was secure, but during an emergency hearing hours after a triumphant announcement, Judge Christopher Lopez of U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Houston put a hold on the sale until a hearing early next week. He cited concerns about a lack of transparency in the secret bidding process and a need to clarify which assets the winners are buying. One of the assets in dispute is Mr. Jones's account on X.
I can explain this. So Alex Jones is trying to jump ship to X to do his new show on there, and he's basically told everyone, stop watching InfoWars, start watching the new AJN, which is called the Alex Jones Network, essentially trying to like basically start something brand new on another site. And there's been a lot of lawyers, especially Mark Branson, who said, you can't do that. You can't continuously keep making a new media empire and then be like, this one is separate from my other assets. They own your ass forever. Like they own your ass. They always own your ass.
And these are the victims of the when he's Sandy Hook, the children's parents and stuff. They helped with this purchasing of the
they helped to choose. They helped to decide to give it to the Onion.
Okay.
There's actually a video of Alex Jones, I guess, finding out about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 7:50 right now. I'm about to upload this to X. I just got word 15 minutes ago that my lawyers and folks met with the U.S. trustee over our bankruptcy this morning, and they said they're shutting us down even without a court order. This morning, the Connecticut Democrats with the Onion newspaper bought us. They asked, did they outbid? They said, well, it was competitive. So they changed all the bidding rules, made it secret 2 days ago. I had a bad feeling I told you that. Just like they tried to shut us down back in late May without a court order. They're supposed to have a court order. There's going to be injunctions filed. I'm about to go live out of Harrison's American Journal studio. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to be, ladies and gentlemen.
And
like
so,
you said all that stuff about them people kids for years.
Oh yeah.
And now you just what are you fighting for? Let it go.
And,
well, he's saying the whole thing is a conspiracy. He's been spreading this rumor that it's the Democrats and the elites and the Illuminati and the lizard people and everyone else that he hates have been like trying to silence him because he tells the truth instead of taking responsibility for what the fuck he did. Like he's a coward. He'll always be.
I think he's angry because apparently there was a group, I think Roger Stone was in it, that was trying to buy the rights. So basically just trying to like keep up InfoWars by just giving it to like a different conservative. And so he's a little peeved about that, but there's on air. So Rachel Gilmore
this
caught this clip
40-something minutes ago. I said, they'll start pulling the plug.
Dude, what the fuck is the story here?
Hey.
So he called Steve Bannon apparently. And Bannon didn't know he was live. It's like, what the fuck?
Dude, what the fuck is the story here?
Hey, Steve. I'm live. Can I please have them call your Skype right now and get you on? They're pulling the plug right now. They're about to turn us off right now.
Fine, call me.
What do we call?
The dramatic
here's my producer right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
guys, play. This is why play InfoWars Lives Forever while I figure this out. Go to a clip. Here we go. Yeah.
Wait, what is InfoWars Lives Forever?
I don't know. I guess some interstitial, whatever.
But it was what was on the screen in the background? Did it say malfunction or some crap on the
It's
screen?
probably just part of the whole thing.
It's giving scripted. This is giving scripted.
It's all just so overly dramatic.
He's playing it up so that way he makes a big spectacle and gets more eyeballs to his new venture. I'm assuming.
Like this was not believable in 2024. This is not believable, beloved. No, like the background, like the red screen. That gave that somebody edited that for that moment.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
Please.
It's like the heartbeat of InfoWars, and as time goes on, it slowly gets more faint.
Oh my god! But hopefully the Onion does get it because I like what it sounded like they were just going to kind of do what he does, but a parody version of it.
Yeah, they were just,
and they were also going to work with they were going to work with this anti-gun agency to like put up like ads about gun control and that kind of thing too.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
The Sandy Hook family is basically under the terms of the deal. They worked out like an advertising deal, and that's their way of basically saying they were going to accept less money in order to accept a deal from the Onion. They didn't. There's only 2 bidders involved. I've come to find out. One of them was the Onion. One of them was the Onion, and another one is some lawyer who's associated with Alex Jones. They were basically going to try to buy it back, I assume.
Right.
No Crowder, no Poole, no Daily Wire.
I
no
thought
Elon
one was Roger
Musk.
Stone.
Elon Musk.
There's two according to the news reports.
No one
there were
likes
only
him.
2 bidders.
What a loser! That's hilarious.
That's
how are
actually
you gonna
even
how
more
are you
funny
gonna how are
'cause
you
it's
gonna
so
attach
sad.
how are you gonna attach yourself to that brand? Like
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that some of them care about this too. But the fact of the matter is, this whole thing is happening because Alex Jones said insane conspiracy theories about the literal children who died during a school shooting in Sandy Hook.
Yes, they're crisis
And
actors.
not just that he said these things, but that him saying these things led his insane fans to harass the families of school shooting victims for years, to the point where there were people showing up to the graves of these children.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
They had to move multiple
One of the
times.
parents committed suicide from the harassment and couldn't deal with it anymore. Like, he's a monster. He should have never been reintroduced into right-wing circles as this hilarious kind of like, Alex Jones is always right. He's so funny. Gay frogs, all that kind of stuff. The guy's a monster. Like, this is one of the worst things a human being has done publicly, in media ever.
And I'm assuming,
I feel like sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming the deal is not cheap either. Like, I know people are assuming that, like, oh, the Onion bought it and they worked out some cheaper deal with the Sandy Hook families to be able to acquire it for less money than it was expected to go for. But like, his media conglomerate was making him a lot of money, and the reason it's being put up for sale is because he couldn't afford to pay the Sandy Hook families the judgment of like over $1 billion. So this isn't like, it's probably like a few million, but that's a few $1 million. That's like a lot of money for any sort of a media company in this day and age. Media companies do not go for a lot of money anymore. And so, there can't be that many potential bidders out there who have that kind of money to spend on something like this.
No,
Yeah.
I when I think of Alex Jones, I feel like he's like the OG with it. But then I think about like Marjorie Taylor Greene and her position with that school. I believe it was in Texas, and I forget the name of it. But the one that when we covered that,
she's a big fan of his. That's where she gets a lot of
trash, and she did that with them children that were shot up there and that were murdered. And she was saying that had to be some kind of conspiracy. Had a whole page dedicated to it on Facebook, and nobody said nothing to her behind as a congresswoman. And that was problematic. And that was because she was so pro-gun. So it was like, F these kids, F these children. And then they began to continue to push around that drag queen nonsense. While we literally are talking about children in a mass murder at a school. And she was saying how it's a conspiracy, and there were so many people on the internet that were pushing that around too on behalf of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she's a congresswoman for the United States. So I hope that she gets something similar. I hope they sue her behind like nobody's business as well, because that's very problematic. Like you just mentioning, Lance, that one of the Sandy Hook parents had committed suicide because of the pressure. Not only mourning your child, then all of that's coming at you, people saying it's not true. Yeah.
Like that's the worst thing anyone can possibly go through. And in addition to that, you have a nonstop barrage of weirdos saying it was fake. Your kid's a crisis actor. They're fine. Stop lying. Like, that's fucked. That's absolutely fucked. And then not turning it off when everyone was like, it's true. It's like, it's been confirmed true. You know, it's true. You can't keep doing that. And he just kept doubling down and tripling down and kept going and going. It's fucked. He should never have been allowed to be back on fucking Joe Rogan or other shows like that. You know, it's really, really fucked up.
Wow. And I think that in this presidency that we're going to see more talking heads just like that, who are inspired by the Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, trash Marjorie Taylor Greene people, like all of these people who can see the leaders do that, and these people like surviving for years talking about this in conspiracy and growing from this. We already have people like that now, and the internet and these social media spaces do not take them down. They almost grow these people and help them build, and then bring them into spaces where they sign deals after these conspiracy theories. But I think under Donald Trump, prepare to see more of that. People are going to double down, triple down, and God forbid these things that we're going to see, because under Donald Trump's first presidency, we saw a lot of ridiculous things happen, and he never speak directly to them or denounce them. And some of these leaders and people took to their mics and continue to push the non-facts. They put lies about the situations and grew their platforms that way. We're going to see more people doing the same thing. Lots of misinformation, lots of lies, lots of conspiracy, lots of blame to the wrong people, to marginalized groups, instead of what the matter really is. We're going to see so much of that. We are.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you even deal with this. It's a societal issue, and it's not unique to the United States. And with so much misinformation and disinformation, I genuinely don't know how we're supposed to address this. I mean, you could do what we do, where we try to make videos and debunk misinformation and put out real information, but at the same time, it just feels like we're farting in the wind because they outnumber us. And even though there's more of them, they're bigger than all of us. So even if you combine the entire left ecosystem, it's maybe equivalent to maybe not even the largest right-wing creator. It just feels so hopeless, and I don't know how we adapt. I don't know what we do as a society. It's a little bit bleak, but there's got to be some way that we teach people, media literacy and how to do fact checking and research. Because when you tell somebody to do their research, that doesn't mean what it used to be. There's so much misinformation that you could come across some anti-vaccine website that looks legitimate, that uses a lot of technical jargon. And for me, I wouldn't know. Some of these look legit. And I came across these back in 2021 when I was talking a lot about the COVID vaccine and conspiracy theories. You could not tell the difference between a legitimate medical website and a fake one. Because the people who spread this bullshit, if you listen to them, they sound like they know what they're talking about, but they don't. It's all bullshit. So I don't know how to combat that. It's really difficult, and I'm trying. We're all trying, but I feel like we're losing that battle. So what do we do?
It's like you said, I feel like we're screaming to the sky, and we are hoping, even the biggest platforms cannot combat what it feels like cannot combat the people who they will grow, that are just pushing out misinformation and giving them sponsorships. And I think that is crazy. You are sponsoring lies that can be very, very dangerous. When it comes, y'all don't want to touch nothing about politics, but there's a specific type of politics that y'all allow out here that's very dangerous to the world, very dangerous to the nation. Y'all have people who are anti-vaxxers or anti-this or anti-that, knowing damn well it's problematic. You have people who are outright nationalists, KKK members, all of that, but you will grow their platform, and that's the problematic side to me. All because, and some of them go under the guise of being religious people, and then you click on it, some evangelical, and they're talking about helping Donald Trump if a war were to come, basically telling it's terrible. I see this, and I'm like, I feel like we have right now. It's just I don't really have any words for it. I'm still in it. I'm still angry. I'm still mad. I got an attitude about it. I'm really just getting back into doing and filming again, but I'm still pissed off. I ain't gonna lie to you. I knew, of course, there would be a chance that Kamala Harris would not win, right? We knew this. We talked about it. We knew it would be very difficult. All platforms, all people. We were very excited to see something different, have an opportunity and a change. Yes, we said it. We knew that it would be difficult, but that wasn't the issue. It was literally the amount. So y'all was really out here really looking for Donald Trump to be president? Oh, so them little calls that y'all was doing, 100 million people on a phone call, y'all was really ops. You should see my little page on YouTube, the amount of people that the day that she lost, the amount of people that removed themselves from my social media. I'm like, yeah,
I saw that too.
You guys were watching. You guys were watching for this moment. Y'all were not here because you wanted to be a part of it, or even that you were an out loud person, like a troll or anything. These are people who were disguising themselves as if they were a part of this and that and whatever. And that's a scary part about it, especially today. So you would think that they were all supporters, but they couldn't wait for this moment. They couldn't wait for that moment, and they were all going to eventually vote for Donald Trump. And some of them I seen, y'all, TikTok is just a place where stupid. Y'all gonna be there on the internet forever with this mess. They're on TikTok. They were going to the voting polls, and they were black and white alike. They were like, this is how I'm gonna go in and act like I'm voting for Kamala. This was a trend on TikTok. I'm gonna act like I'm voting for Kamala. Then they go in, pull out their phones. Because since when cell phones is in the book, it's crazy. Times have changed. But then they're recording who they're voting for. And then they'll be like, they'll click on Kamala and then switch it to Donald Trump. Evil laugh, and there goes the trend. And that was like most of the trend on that day. It was ridiculous.
I don't think people who do that are text your relatives and be like, haha, I enjoyed the low taxes, and like, oh my god, are you serious? Like, do you have any idea what just happened? Like, you do not know the wrecking ball that is about to take place if you think this is going to be
Lance, it sounds like that you are agreeing with Mike from last week. When you were talking shit to Mike.
I missed it. What did I miss?
I stand 100% behind. I don't want this shit to happen, so I want to know why it happens, and I want to know how to change that. In terms of being angry, I was never like, you should be thankful that people are doing this kind of like rue or celebrating or being assholes in public or being like, lol, this is hilarious, keck, enjoy the freedom that everyone gets. Like, I agree. I like any single person who's doing that shit. And I said it that day, like, you didn't stay, David, because you leave early, but we had like a second mini one. We kept going at it. And
to be clear, early is like 10:30
p.m.
or like 11 p.m.
Comments agree with Mike, by the way. They totally
people were mad at me and my emails.
What did you say?
They were mad at you. I saw
I
positive comments about what you said.
Well, the real mad ones found a way to contact me outside of YouTube.
What are you talking about last week?
After last week's episode.
What did you even say that's like controversial?
He was a bit much.
I called Trump supporters dipshits and stupid and ignorant and cruel. And look, I will say this: after taking a little bit of time,
let's put it this way, Mike went so out of bounds. Mike went so out of bounds that I felt it necessary to create some brand new Gmail accounts and send them a few emails. All right.
Well, listen, I went through and I read a lot of the comments, and it's been a week. I've cooled down. I've taken the time to kind of think it through and reflect. And with that in mind, I've decided that I was 1,000% right. I'm gonna double down. They're fucking dipshits, dumbest people in the world, and I was right.
Hey, Mike, whatever you said it, and I stand beside you because I feel like I know we have to really be for real. If you think that I'm really going to say, okay, back in the day, that's what it used to be. Donald Trump is literally a bad person. He is this is not just some war shit. It's everything. He's a bad person, and he's centering himself around racism, hate, division out loud. There is no hiding it. There's nothing. Everybody is going to get got, except for the people who are renting penthouses on his nuts. Some of y'all can't even afford that. So y'all with us. And here you guys are like, making these cases for a very bad person who's already done bad things, who's already put out I cannot support. It's bad. So literally 2 middle fingers to you because y'all are the problem. And then you're going to complain, but then you're going to blame it on Joe Biden. No, sorry. They're still going to blame it on Kamala Harris. They're still going to blame it on Kamala Harris. And
No, you're right the first time. We should blame Joe Biden because it's first and foremost this was his baby. This whole thing was a referendum on him. Every issue, every
he refused to step down. He spent forever. He was
stalwart. It was an uphill battle, all because of him.
He did a genocide. That's a big part of it too.
Everything he did is why we're here. Joe Biden. You want to talk about like a tarnished legacy? I mean, his legacy was tarnished to begin with for a lot of people, but I feel like across the board now, he will go down in history as one of the worst presidents ever. His sole job, his whole reason for running in 2020 was to stop Donald Trump. It wasn't to stop him for 4 years and then welcome him back 4 years later. The whole purpose of his run was to stop Donald Trump. He said he was the one who could do it. He was the one who could stand between Trump and the rest of the country to stop fascism, and he failed. He is
now
a
Trump
failure.
Is more powerful than ever thanks to Joe Biden.
Yes.
And
it's crazy.
It's worth pointing this chart out. I shared this chart in my breakdown. All these programs ended while Biden was in office. Like if you were on these programs, these pandemic era programs, and they ended while he was in power, what else are you going to think?
Yeah.
Like this is the problem with the Democratic Party. It's all this nibbling around the edges and having no real consistent help that people need. All this stuff that people got during the pandemic, they needed it before the pandemic. They finally got a little bit of help, and while he was in power, it was done. And sure, you can blame Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, the right, whatever. Sure, but Joe Biden was the president. He didn't do enough in terms of whatever power he had, especially when it came to. I remember those fights around Sinema, Manchin watering down all this crap. He didn't do anything to try and combat them publicly. Like he had the bully pulpit that he did not use, so he absolutely deserves criticism. And this is what led to Kamala Harris barely having a campaign.
Criticism is being nice, like
you should be in jail.
You cannot criticize the Kamala Harris campaign, which deserves a lot of criticism. I mean, listen, I know she's. I don't think she is fully to blame. Obviously, I just told you Biden is. Biden put her in that position, but she is a grown adult. She has agency. Her campaign made some bad decisions that she could have spoke up about. For example, maybe she should have said something about traveling the country with Liz Cheney. Maybe she should have said something about not standing up to Israel a little bit more during the campaign. But Biden, at the end of the day, put her in that position. Biden is the one who gave her 100 days to run a campaign. Biden is the one who put her out there to fucking basically run on his administration. Like, she had to defend his administration while also trying to run on her own.
If neither the Republicans or the Democrats help the material conditions of people, if life gets getting harder, then there's going to be a situation where it doesn't matter who's in power. Globally right now, you can see there's a huge switch between the incumbents and the next one because of a lot of reasons. People can't afford groceries. People can't afford houses, shit like that. Like, neoliberal policies are a disaster, and they're continuing to concentrate wealth into a very small amount of people's pockets over and over and over. So, like, on one end, yes, it's really sad that all these fuck-ups are voting for like a full-blown fucking fascist racist, but a lot of the people too, especially those centrists who were just like, I only looked it up a week before I voted, most people were mentioning the economy, like, the price of eggs is too expensive and stuff like that. And I agree with you. I agree with being angry at that, because that's so frustrating when it's like, holy fuck, so goodbye civil rights because your eggs are too pricey or something like that. I agree with that. And at the same time, I want to know how to stop this, because this cycle won't stop, right? Like, prices keep getting higher, houses are more expensive.
More power is being built with
concentrated into smaller hands.
Absolutely. And I feel like Democrats they just never. We've been criticizing, because I know I've been on the shows before in his first few years, and I've been on shows and I've criticized the Biden administration out loud, especially for his immigration policy that was just all over the place, lackluster. It was just not good. And so I wasn't afraid to do that, because he pulled working with Title 42, which Donald Trump was using too. So both of them, it's just they pick and choose. But at the end of the day, I'm like, we needed that opportunity to have somebody in office and reform and hold people accountable, because that's what we didn't do in these last 4 years when we got Joe Biden in office. We got him in and we were like, sat down, started having a little conversation, but no, nobody was really holding them accountable until shit really hit the fan. Now it's like, okay, we didn't build it up enough these 4 years. Now we're here and we're really seeing Joe Biden like really out loud for not standing on business. And, as a general population of folks on the left. And now it's like, I'm like, dang, all of this time they could have been doing work. We still ain't got nobody really strong enough in the Democrats to really do the work. I feel like they're just nobody
is
really
so bad.
You even have some that act conservative.
53 voted on that new bill in the House to allow Donald Trump the power to go after nonprofits. 53 Democrats voted for that.
You see,
including Colin Allred.
Republican light,
Colin Allred, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Shifty Schiff. He voted for that too. All these people, Debbie Dingell, who called Trump a fascist,
they need to be purged.
Yeah, they need to be purged, or placed in gulags. I have to address this comment really quick. I saved it so I can call this person out in particular. I love you all, but Mike was being an annoying liberal last week. I'm sorry, but do you not remember the liberals holding hands and singing Kumbaya with Donald Trump? the ones in Congress who are talking about bipartisanship. I'm the one who's not coddling fascists. You're the liberal, alt the healer. Suck my cock.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, Mike has a point.
It was like this for 40 minutes last week.
If you're not angry, then maybe you're the liberal.
You are the libtard here. You are the libtard. You're living out by trying to coddle these fascist feelings. No, you have to crush them. Do you think that fucking all these revolutionaries throughout history were nice to fascists, dummy? God, you're so liberal. Shut up, liberal. I can't take it. I can't take it. You are lib-brained. Read Lenin. Read anything. Watch a documentary on Che Guevara. They killed fascists, dummy.
Why y'all got Mike going like this? I don't like when Mike, y'all pissed off Mike. And
you should have seen last week.
I missed this. Y'all don't
so much his husband apparently had to tell him to sit down. His husband, like, you gotta lower the volume.
I think you're wrong here, Mike. Wrong.
I'm not taking the bait, Matt.
Wrong,
I feel like
yes, you deserved it. Yes, repent and come back next week with a better attitude. God damn it!
Not you made them come on here and see accountability, right?
Yes.
You put them on blast and you told them what was up, and they came back and said, "You know what? You know what? You're right." Because this is what people aren't doing. We're sitting here and being like, especially when Kamala was going in, and I said this with Olay and them, and I even said this on Like It or Not. Like, y'all, it couldn't be that she's just black. It couldn't be. We got work to do. It's beautiful that she's black and South Asian, but them Asian people ain't vote for her. Like, it's beautiful that she's a HBCU grad, but a lot of them Generation Z said no. And like, you gotta, like, it was more. I feel like there was more that needed to be pushed out. Yep. And go ahead.
Okay. About 10 million people didn't show up this time compared to the last one. So honestly, it was a large amount of apathy.
I seen that too.
Yeah, it's big apathy.
But here's something I think myself, and this is what I have to correct myself on and apologize for, and a lot of leftists miss, because I was really quick to be like, no, this is not about identity politics. People weren't just rejecting her outright because of her gender or her race or anything like that. But what is 100% true is that Trump was nothing but identity politics. That guy could do nothing but racism and sexism. He could go on a microphone and talk about penises for 10 minutes. She could never do that. Like, there's a massive fucking double standards here, where if she was on a microphone and was like, Beyonce's vagina is my favorite vagina or something like that, everyone would be like, oh my god, that's not becoming of a person.
So she's a woman.
She's a woman, and she's a multiracial woman. Meanwhile, Trump is just like, Arnold Palmer's dick is enormous. I love cock.
Right.
And stuff like that.
That's what's so crazy.
And he literally,
he's so funny. He's relatable. Like,
yeah. If people, Whoopi Goldberg said this on The View, and I agreed with it. It was simple. It was to the point. After he was acting like he was giving head to the mic or whatever. And if people were okay with that, they're mad about drag queens. They're mad at all this other stuff, everything. But they were okay with their children being at a rally and him acting like he was giving the microphone fellatio. That's all right with y'all?
Yeah.
And having no ground game whatsoever, not mentioning policies at rallies, swaying around to Ave Maria like a fucking weirdo. And Kamala, they had a ground game. They had thousands of people on the ground in swing states, and it in that sense, I'm gonna get libbed up for a second. It's deeply unfair because, I mean, they did nothing. Trump's campaign was one of the worst campaigns, if not the worst campaign in modern political history.
Rallies. It was just KKK rallies. It was
wild.
Dog whistling. It was just literally like uncomfortable to watch, strange. And you thought that people, remember we talked about this on the show. That's why I say I'm just so angry. But where we were like, okay, this is an opportunity for people to see Donald Trump for who he is. Even at the debate, this is for them to see that Donald Trump is unprepared. There is nothing that he has. He has concepts of a plan, okay? He lied about what was happening in Springfield, Ohio, and the people debunked it, and he stood 10 toes down on that. And here we are, and y'all voted for this man. That's how I know America is racist. It's always going to be racist. It's always been racist, and they're going to stick to the BS. If anything ever comes out, woman, other, God forbid it was LGBTQIA plus somebody running. Like,
I know people think Pete Buttigieg is going to be the next standard bearer. Okay, we'll see how that works out.
Not in America, not right now.
He also shouldn't be
throwing trans people under the bus right now. Like, we got to go more right. We got to go more right. says, and it's like, that was a centrist campaign. She ran a very centrist campaign. She was like tough on crime, tough on the border.
Well, center
reaching out
right,
to
really.
Republicans. Yeah, exactly. Like not reaching out to Palestinians, no trans people at the DNC, no Palestinian voices at the DNC. Like this was a center right campaign.
And she had
about that.
And she had some good policies, like expanding Medicare for long-term at-home care, but that took a back seat to discussions around democracy, immigration, like her traveling around Liz Cheney is the dumbest. It's crazy how correct the left is on democratic strategy on every election. We are always bang on. Even though we called that one months ago. Not only did that not help her, that actually hurt her. In the places where she campaigned with Liz Cheney, she lost by more than expected because more Republicans came out to vote because they fucking hate Liz Cheney. Like the idea that you would campaign with her to get Republicans, it was the exact opposite in practice. Such an insanely stupid idea.
They lost the full
out. She literally denounced Donald Trump after voting for him. What do we say? 90% of the time. Like she literally came out late in the game to denounce him, and I was like, "Bruh, please." And now I don't know. They were trying to do that bipartisan thing again, and I'm sick of it because I think that's for real. Joe Biden wanted to run off that for real, and it just didn't work. They was like, "Yeah, we'll try this." Okay, now you're in. F all of y'all. F y'all. We're doing it our own way. We're going to continue to build our cult and build it stronger, and take this 4 years while y'all in office and build it stronger. And guess what they did? Just that, because bipartisan my behind. Somebody got to do something about something. And if these people are literally leading off of hate and division and it's winning in this country, why are the Democrats like just sitting here and acting like, oh, this sucks, but we're just gonna show up to get a check. I'm just here so I won't get fined. You guys are our leaders. People been talking, people been trying to push, we've been watching y'all sway too, ride the fence, join in with the cult a couple of times. Like what?
And there's not going to be any changeover, no new leaders. Chuck Schumer is still going to be the leader of Democrats in the Senate. Hakeem Jeffries is still going to be the leader in the House. I mean, how many times do these people have to lose to resign? I mean, in other countries, I mean, this is mostly parliamentary systems where this happens, but if a party loses, leadership resigns. There's a turnover there. But we see the same dusty ass people every single time, again and again, and the same strategists who have been feeding them bad advice for years. They never go anywhere. So this guy named Felipe Reigns, he was on CNN talking about how actually Democrats need to be more xenophobic, more transphobic. Not his words. That's my characterization of what he said. But that's essentially what he was saying.
Democrats said that outright.
Who said that outright?
There's some Democrats who said that outright, that we need to drop the trans issue. It's not a winning issue, and then we
need to drop them.
That's what Philip said basically. And this is an individual
she didn't know that.
Right. This dude was on Hillary Clinton's losing campaign. That right there he should have been out. But then he was on Kamala's losing campaign. And he's still, I'm assuming, going to be on the next losing campaign. So they feed them terrible advice, and they just they stick around and they feed them the same advice again. It doesn't make any sense. Democrats.
What other profession is like this, where you fail again, you fail up again and again and again and again and again,
and you get a promotion?
Jamie Harrison.
It's lazy work. It's like get somebody else to do it.
Jamie Harrison, DNC chair. He got that position after losing an election to Lindsey Graham. Then he failed up to be the fucking DNC chair, the leader of the Democratic Party. Why? He just lost an election. He ran for DNC chair in 2017.
It's all about whose ass you kiss, right? It's all about whatever corporate donors you kiss that have power over the shit. Like they have to completely remove themselves. I was encouraged by seeing Chris Murphy, Democrat on MSNBC this weekend and on Twitter, discussing how the party has to make it clear, like a clear separation away from corporations, away from the wealthy, away from elites, and really speak to only working class issues and represent the working class. Like he was very clear about that. At the same time, though, he then brought in like, oh, and we shouldn't be too concerned about their views on guns. No, gun control is a very popular, very popular position as well. Even apart from the popularity of it, it's the right thing to do in terms of, again, not like taking all your guns away, though that, that's maybe where I would go. But like having just some proper, checks in place like that. Those are very popular positions. You don't back off on gun issues because anyone who's voting based purely on guns are going to vote for the Republicans. So you don't need to appeal to them. But there's a way that the party can shift in the right direction, and they just have to be willing to do that. And I have a hard time believing they will be, because who's going to push them there?
Kids never showed up. Like, this was, I think, less than 40% of youth vote from 2020 in a massive drop off. And I think a large part of that is like, you couldn't expect the world, or sorry, like the younger generation to be nuanced on genocide. You couldn't, like, that was such a weird calculation to be like, we admit we're doing this and we're giving Israel a blank check and they're doing all these horrifying war crimes, but the other guys would be worse. And like, even if that is true, which now Trump's cabinet is showing it to be very certainly true, it's like, to a lot of kids, this is a thing they're willing to get arrested for. They're camping out on their campuses. Like, this is a big social movement. Of course, they're not going to be able to be like, well, I want to do the trolley problem on this. I want to calculate, what's
it also would have fed. It also would have fed perfectly into her campaign, because she was like, she was acting as the law and order, person. Like, oh, Trump's a criminal. Well, how about apply that on a wider global scale? Like, look at Israel and what they are doing, and look at what the UN has said and these international bodies have said. Like, to completely ignore that aspect of law and order, it just goes to show the complete hole at the center of that campaign, and it was all just rhetoric.
I feel like she ran, to me, a good campaign with the time being. I feel like she really, because of Joe Biden's ass, like, sir, let it go. You know that lady wanted to run. You knew all that stuff, and you didn't want to let it go. And here you gave her 2 days to run, and we literally put it all together. And I feel like there are times she was really, really strong, and there are times I'm like, girl, you spent time to do this in your campaign, and you only got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. And so
she did great in the debate and then terrible in interviews. Like, I think like she was that the View interview where it's like, how are you different from Joe Biden? That's a disaster moment, and then it's like, well, now's when you can separate yourself from his genocidal fucking racist ass. And like,
I feel like they told her she was protecting that. She was too much in the protection of the Biden Harris. I mean, she still is in office as the vice president with Joe Biden. So I think that she had to protect that. It just was a very, and I blame Joe Biden for this one. But it was there was nothing really given to her. I think she ran a great campaign with what she had, but there was very problematic areas, of course. Yes, there were. But compared to Donald Trump, well,
there's no comparison.
The juxtaposition is so stark.
It's ridiculous.
The data was apparently showing that anytime that voters actually saw Trump and what he was doing, his support dropped. So the fact that they had no ground game actually benefited the Republican Party.
Right.
Because people simply voted for, hey, I'm not happy with the current position. The current position is Democrats in power. I'm voting the other side. That's kind of the end of it. But if they saw more of Trump and the Republicans, they're like, I'm not voting for this. So the fact that they weren't knocking on doors was weirdly beneficial.
I can't. It's just, I got a headache about it. It's just too much. I don't know if I'm going to get over it. I'm going to have an attitude for 4 years. Okay.
As you should.
I feel like I'm going to have an attitude for 4 years. And if I don't want to talk about him, I ain't going to talk about him, because I told y'all asses. Now y'all ain't eating with y'all families. But see, those people are fine because they can go to their little suburban homes. But the toothless people in the backwoods, y'all can't do nothing. Nothing. Your insurance, all that other stuff that you thought you was gonna have, it's not happening for you, and I don't care, because it's what you want.
I mean, that's my point too, Rebecca. It's like, my position is Medicare for all. I want to give every single person in the country Medicare for all. Having said that, though, the country just voted for the guy who has a concept of a plan. So if I lose my health care because of your vote, I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I'm going to feel sympathy for myself, because then I'm going to have to figure out what the fuck I'm supposed to do, since you voted to take that away from me. So my sympathy completely dried up. The well is gone. And yeah, I think you're right to have an attitude for 4 years. That was what made me so pissy last week afterwards. Not necessarily like the policy implications of it, because that is horrifying, but I had already accepted that. But after he won, the reality set in that, oh my God, I have to talk about this motherfucker for 4 more years. I can't take it.
We've been doing this since the first. I know all of
It
us have
never
probably
ends.
we've been doing it since he first got on, and that
Yeah.
was something. And the way that we were talking then was, we did. Here's what we're gonna do to get him out of here. Here's how we were talking like that. This is wrong. This is wrong. As my camera goes off, but we were saying that, and now we have to deal under Joe Biden. We had to fight him still. We were still talking about him from like what he did on January 6th with his people, and now he's coming in. He's coming in again, and I'm tired.
We were so close to not having to talk about him again. So close.
If you go back, my first episode ever, back in 2015, I talk about the launch of Trump's campaign. And I'm like, this is such a disaster. What a fucking joke. Boy, was I fucking wrong. And it's never going to stop. It's Trump. I want it to end.
I think my first video was when Sarah Palin endorsed him, and it was such a weird, like the whole thing was so weird, and Sarah Palin was weird, and it was just a weirdest fucking thing. And I was treating it as like this thing was so ridiculous. We're still talking about him this almost 10 years later. Oh my!
I remember my classmates. God. They were international classmates. And they were asking me about this. I'm like, do you think Trump can get elected? I'm like, no, of course not. He's way too stupid. Americans, they're uninformed, but they're not that bad. And I was just like scoffing at the idea. And like my international friend, who has a very different perception of America than I did at the time, was like, I don't know, man. I'm like, just watch. Oh, motherfucker, was I humbled.
And you know what's so funny? I remember I was like a baby in the politics world. I told y'all, I was just a regular journalist. So coming into politics and I'm seeing all these bad things, and I'm like, they're telling me I can be unbiased but give the facts here. I don't know if I can do that. They're like, girl, it's about to get crazy. There's not going to be any way that you can't do that. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And then one day I came in and he said that Haiti was a shithole country. And baby, that was my first real video that I got down with. I think it got 1 million views. And I was like, from that day on, you talk about my people, it's over. It is over. It's 10 toes in the ground. And he went harder this year. And he ain't even president. I can't. I can't. We're still doing the same thing, y'all. We are still doing the same thing. Like, how? I talked about Haiti then. It was a major deal. Now he's talking about Haiti was a shithole country, Nigeria was a shithole country. And then now we got Puerto Rico catching strays, and that's American territory. And then here go Haitians who's in the middle of nowhere minding their own business because Springfield, Ohio was nowhere. Sorry, John Legend. But they're there minding their business, building it up, and here he is again attacking them. And I'm like, we're still doing the same thing. That means that there is a problem. The system that we think that we have that we can fix, it's broken. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. There's no change. So
on a happy note, I just want to share this incredible super chat that I got. Holy crap, $200. Anyone know how to say that name? Because I have no idea. I think is the last name Portici? Auber de Portici?
Auber de Portici.
Yeah, Portici. It's given that. Thank you.
Says, I think you nailed it. Says, thank you all. Not only have you done a superior job helping me stay informed on issues on the Leftist Mafia and your individual channels, but you have also helped keep me sane. Keep going strong. I appreciate all of you.
Oh, that's so kind. I really appreciate these kinds of messages.
Incredible.
Honestly. Yeah, and I mentioned the bad emails. I got a lot of really great emails of people that were just like, hey, thank you so much. It's, you're helping me to stay sane. I appreciate that. Because even if I feel like we're not really making a difference in terms of influencing policy, it is nice to know that people appreciate just hearing us articulate their feeling and that it's cathartic. It's nice to know that we're having at least some positive effect, even if it's not on the scale that we hoped. We're much smaller than I think people give us credit for, but I appreciate people saying that.
I appreciate
wow,
that
I
too.
didn't get any emails. I must have helped absolutely nobody. Awesome.
They love us. They said all of us. They said all of us. So
yeah, I get mostly comments. I get the occasional email. I prefer not getting emails because I don't like reading email. So
yeah.
I'd rather just read a comment.
I check like 2 or 3 emails a week, and then I'm like, okay, that's my limit. And then it just keeps filling up.
People send y'all emails?
Yeah.
Occasionally, I normally just get like YouTube comments or
They
DMs.
send me DMs and they're super long, and some of them they'll go into my request, so I don't really check my requests. And a lot of them used to go on my Twitter, which I said I was gonna delete it, right? And then I'm like,
are you on Blue
shoot.
Sky?
What?
Are you on Blue Sky, Rebecca?
I think I'm still on there from when we rolled out when Elon Musk first bought
I'm gonna follow you.
Okay. Let me see. I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm using Blue Sky more now.
That's
I was
my
gonna
main
mention as
now.
well. Sorry.
But I started using it a lot more too when I checked what was going on over there and saw how many people follow me on Blue Sky now. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how
Yeah, you should be using it. You especially should be using it a lot more. You have a massive following. I was gonna mention though.
If only I used it regularly the past couple of months, imagine where I'd be.
I was gonna say yesterday, I got recognized, and that doesn't happen very often to me. I was stunned. So in case you're watching, because I put the message out on like social media, because I felt bad afterwards because I'm like I didn't even ask the guy's name. Like I was just like stunned that someone recognized me. But it was at FedEx, like sending out a package, and the guy working there was like, "Are you David Dole?" Like he was like, "Why are you here?" But he gave very kind words of encouragement. He said, "Don't quit," because I had that tweet where I'm like, I need to fucking stop doing this. He's like, "Don't quit, stick with it. We're in the trenches here. Like I appreciate what you're doing." I'm like, "All right, thank you so much."
Ben told me to tell you
kind.
that too. Ben wanted me to give you a message too, David. We were talking about it on Saturday. He literally stopped me in the middle of the show and was like, "No, Rebecca, how's David? How's David? Is he doing all right?" Because I know that he won't. I'm like, everybody know about David. David, what was he wanting?
Oh, that's very nice. I love Ben. Ben's awesome.
So he said he wanted me to say, stay in there. And
it was just I didn't realize that people take me seriously all the time. Like that tweet was just, that is how I feel once a month at least. I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore. Like it's just, for me, I think it's like normal. I thought it was normal. If you read the news every day, I'm sure at some point you want to stop doing it because it is so fucking depressing. So I just voiced it that day because the day after Trump,
everybody
won, it was like
loves
super
you.
depressing.
I want you to know that everybody was literally like, Dave, how's David doing? I'm like, I don't know. Well, that's very kind. So
I don't plan to go anywhere, but I gotta say, I'm gonna have to find a way to keep my own sanity because I can't be covering every single one of these Trump cabinet picks. Like it's just not. It's not interesting to me. Apart from being like so disturbing, I don't find it interesting because it's not new. It's just like, he's the piece of shit we all said he was. Like,
I got a video clip I don't think y'all have seen for some hopium to end with. That's really awesome. In the chat. Yeah, it's really good. Make sure you play the video at the bottom first and then play the video at the top in the tweet. But it's basically yesterday Parliament in New Zealand had probably one of the most metal moments I've ever seen in like a parliamentary setting ever. And it's extremely badass and will give you a lot of hope towards, assholes and how to treat them.
So you play this video first, you said?
So if you scroll, scroll up. There should be two videos at the top, right? Yeah. So that's okay. We'll play that one first.
The middle of a vote.
Mr. Speaker, I call that a personal vote.
No, sit down. We're in the middle of a vote. The ayes have it. First, a party vote's been called for.
Mr. Speaker.
A party vote has been called for. There's a process here.
New Zealand National.
49 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party of Aotearoa New Zealand.
15 votes opposed.
ACT New Zealand.
11 votes in favour.
New Zealand First.
8 votes in favour.
Te Pāti Māori.
E ono ngā pōti e whakahe.
Kawana!
Ha whakamanu whiriti a keu!
Oh, I love this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, I love this.
He ripped the bill in front of him.
Oh, they won't even show them.
I have the angle with all of them, and people in the other parties started doing the fucking dance too.
They don't show them at all. Oh my god!
Yeah, I have it.
They don't want to encourage it.
I want to see them doing it.
Yeah, I want to see them.
I have that. It's in the chat now. So this is the version from their POV.
Okay, let me bring this.
Oh,
and just watch how people in the other parties who voted no also join in.
Baby, they got up. We don't have nobody like that over here. We need that.
Okay, so what is the context here? what's this vote over?
So Maori, the indigenous people of New Zealand, are the people who want no. This bill essentially it's what described as a solution to a problem that doesn't exist, and it's going to basically impact indigenous rights. And so they've been fighting the bill for a while, and it's a minority party that's putting the bill to a vote. And the Crown tried to get it to pass through some kind of parliamentary rule I'm not totally familiar with. And so they were like, "Fuck that noise," and they ripped the bill up in front of him. And then all of New Zealand is in protest right now. People are blocking streets, bridges, all this shit. So badass.
That is amazing.
We got to do more of this.
Love it.
Yes.
I like that.
I'm all for more haka in the House.
Yeah. Yeah.
Representatives and in the Senate. Yes. I want to see Bernie going.
We need something.
Didn't Bernie have his own little record? Didn't he make some music at one point? He can do that.
Did he really? I didn't know.
Yeah,
this.
I remember something about this. Didn't he have I swear to God, this is a thing.
No, I know he had some poems that were weird and sussy back in the day.
I want to see Chuck Schumer.
Not me. We need the young ones who have that. I need them to be more than just going viral. Those viral moments. I need it. If y'all gonna step, y'all gotta step. It ain't gotta be a dance move, but y'all
Bernie Sanders has an album. I was right.
He does.
It's called "We Shall Overcome." So Bernie. And it was recorded and released in 87.
Now we shall overcome.
It's folk music and spoken word. That's what it is.
Wow.
Of course, it's spoken word.
The best we get are Democrats doing a very performative kente cloth kneeling on Black Lives Matter.
Oh God, that's not anything like that.
Every time I see that, something in that's what makes me not like some of them.
Right.
And I always say that, I'm like, y'all always try. I don't care who the person is or how popular they are. I've covered them for a very long time. And a lot of them are performative, and they have these seats that they warm up. They show themselves in when they have to come to work and they act like they're a part of whatever. They act like they really care about an issue. But baby, the way they go home and be around their family and all this stuff, Nancy Pelosi was dead wrong for that. I just feel like, girl, and then it's funny because they, to me, match how the world views Black people too. In that moment, mind you, Black people have had their issues. Black Americans have had their issues in America for so long, and some of their peers and family members have been a part of the problem. But here they are, all of the sudden, because it was a trend. 2020 around that time or whatever, it was a trend, right? So the same way the world treated it, we had our kente cloth candles. We had the chicken and the watermelon at the furniture store. We had all of that going on. A lot of people that didn't have no jobs after school, for some reason, that was getting jobs. Twitter had their Black space growing within the office, and the help with it was just a lot of Black awareness. All of a sudden, that's gone. It was so dead this year. It was all those little holidays, they're gone. They was all the people that had those, even Netflix. They had their space for Black voices. All those movie apps had their space for Black voices. They're gone, right? Netflix took theirs away. A couple of other people took their space away for Black voices. And to me, the same way that the Democrats or didn't do it this year, didn't up nobody, didn't make it a Black thing, and especially don't ever do the kente cloth again, but did not, we saw less support for that.
Throwing mine away right now.
It mirrors to me how Donald Trump is doing with the DEI, even though it's not as extensive, but basically y'all, it's all performative. I need y'all to really, I need folks, I don't need them anymore because we already know where y'all stand for years on that side. There's no flipping that. That's y'all belief. But the people who really believe in Black issues, LGBTQIA plus issues, all the issues as our leaders and getting us help, equality, all of those things, we need to start building and honing in on them and empowering them more. Because these other people, they don't give a damn. They really don't. They really do not. And that's why I really don't, and pardon my French, because y'all know I'll be cussing like that, but I really don't fuck with Nancy Pelosi and them older people. They don't do anything. They just show up. And I don't like that a lot of liberals rent penthouses on they coochies and on they balls. I don't like it because y'all just do that. Like, oh my God, look at what Nancy Pelosi did. She rolled her eyes and it's such a big deal. Girl, we got policies to push because it's more than that. It's more than that.
I hate that shit so much, Rebecca.
Like, yeah, it wasn't slapping thing. It didn't move me. It didn't have no sauce on it. It ain't nothing. Like it. No. So
got this like 800-year-old gremlin, and we're supposed to Yas Queen her because she tore up 2 pieces of paper. Like
Rebecca wants to see some sauce on them balls, okay?
It bothers me about the left that they get so, and even for me, I was one of those people, but I wasn't in the left just yet. I didn't know where I was in life. I just knew Barack Obama was running for president. I was about 17, 18. Okay. And so for me, I was like, he's Black. I'm at an HBCU. He came to it. He held our hands. I read his book. Like, you know, that I'm voting for this man. This is great. And then as I began to get older, you understand that there's policy. There's things that are going to affect you in your future. This leader and the people behind him, they're going to, like, everything that they push for you, they're in power. You are the constituent and they're in power. So we have the right to tell them how we want things to be and how it's going to work for us. And I think that us just glorifying these people because of what they look like or however is also problematic.
They're also all war criminals. That's the part of growing up.
All
is
of
realizing
them. All of them.
Yeah,
every single one of
them are war criminals.
You know what's funny is I saw this chart about generations, and it showed that millennials are the only generation that's bucking the trend of getting more conservative as they age. And in fact, they're getting more left wing. And I think that what's happening, and this is completely projection, is we all start off as sock Dems and liberals. And then as time goes on, we get more pissed off and disillusioned with the system that we become democratic socialists and then socialists. Many people are now just straight up communist or anarchists. So that's what I think is happening. The same thing that we see like in those charts. It's what's happening to us. I was a little sock Dem lib when I started the show. Now I am completely anti-capitalist. I consider myself a socialist. I think that workers should own the means of production. I want to live in a classless, moneyless society. I'm as radical as you could possibly be when I should be getting more conservative if trends hold, but they don't. And we're all kind of going through the same thing. And it's nice. I feel a lot of kinship with our generation. I think we're crushing it.
We've also just been like really fucked by everything. Like we saw like, you know, our parents, some of them were able to buy homes for like nothing compared to what the cost of housing is now. Like it is insane.
Grandparents for like what, $20,000 for your grandparents?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Bucks. And then they look at us like we're not doing. And I'm just like, at this point, the same way I'm treating this in politics, I do with my parents. Like that conversation when they be like, you know, where's the house? I don't care. I'm gonna be living here until I can afford something. It doesn't pressure me anymore. Before it used to make me feel like I was a failure, even though I know they weren't trying to make me feel like that, but they didn't understand what the money was looking like for us these days and how it's not lining up and we can't do the same things that we did when we were in their day and age. So I just let them talk in the same way here. I don't even give a damn. I'm going to do what I need to do. There are going to be days that like I'm going to purposely not cover some of the things that are probably going to be too much for me mentally when it comes to Donald Trump, especially within these coming months and things like that, because I am not about the way that the thing chewed up my mind from when I was fresh in it, right? And was like, we're going to fight Donald Trump, right? That was me. I was with y'all. And then it became, we got Biden, but Donald Trump is still doing that. I just can't. Now I'm just like, I'm gonna be that just okay. I'm gonna talk about this, but there's other news to talk about. We're gonna cover this, but there's other news to talk about. And if I don't feel like talking about it, I don't give a damn who's in the comment section, who's trying to break my arm virtually, who's trying to tell me what to do because they feel entitled and where I should be. I need my mind and my sanity, and we just gonna have to rock this out together. All of us, you, me, and everybody else. We gonna have to rock this out together. That's it. That's it.
Those blue fans, right? Come on, white people. Now.
Yeah, I'm slapping wrists. Don't think I can come up to me and be like, here, I'm slapping wrists. Get it out of my face. Like, get out of my face.
White people literally think that the blue wristbands are going to get them invites to the cookout. You're going to be banned for life if anybody sees you with that in public. Stop with the fucking
like,
blue wristbands.
There's no cookout. I don't even want to go to cookouts. People sneezing on food and stuff. I'm not doing it.
Here we go.
Well, David, super chats?
Yes. All this anti-capitalist talk is getting me hungry for some cash. So here we go.
Oh my God.
Who's this for? Sorry?
Yeah, let me read those.
First, because she likes to peace out.
You know, and he's right after me. He be right after me. David right behind me.
Oh, I'm right behind.
Yeah.
But no, go ahead. You go first.
Okay, so I don't know where to go to find them again on here, but here we go. Wait, let me see right here. I don't know where to go to find them on here, but to the people that did give, I noticed you guys earlier, and I wish I could read them, but I see these on here. Lainey Lou, as a leftist separating from their Republican conspiracy theory husband, you all have kept me sane. Also, question is it true divorce lawyer calls are up? You trying to divorce your husband? You're not responsible. Okay. Listen. Thank you, though.
I imagine so, right? I mean, this is going to destroy some marriages.
Please. Tun Bosun said, please look up RFK connection to the measles outbreak in Samoa. He helped spread propaganda and drove down vaccination rates from 70% to 30%. I did see Prairie.
That killed people.
Yes, it did. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And this is who he's putting it. Y'all, people,
right?
I don't even want to say it. See, it's getting spicy for me. But I know I saw Prairie. Thank you so much, Charlie. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you so much. And then I did get like a few, I want to say, cash apps. And so Tony, thank you. Texas Organic, Izzy, Chelsea. I love you guys. Mean it. The night is you guys'. I know Mike and Matt are about to take it over. David, you do your thing. Lance,
good night. I'm going to run through my. Last week we had insane super chats, so good night.
I'll see y'all.
It should be quick for me here because last week it was like, I don't know. You guys were up for a while because there was like 200 super chats.
So
something insane.
Get through all of ours, yeah.
It's just like it took me like 30 minutes to get through mine alone.
I had to read mine by muting the Leftist Mafia and just going through mine separately because like Matt hadn't even started his yet.
That's the smart way to do it. Philip Hempel. There is no sane person. Sorry, see, it's too late already. I can't even read. There is no sane person. Oh no, the sentence is wrong. There is no sane person will be left in our government after January. I guess. Well, yeah, probably not. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. I keep clicking on the YouTube chat, which is obviously not going to pop up in StreamYard. Lawn Gnomes. Name suggestion. Keep Leftist Mafia, but add a different tagline every week. Leftist Mafia, now with more thoughts about the Roman Empire. Lawn Gnomes again. If I can find you. Funniest timeline is possible. Gates resigned, so if he isn't confirmed, he's completely out of Congress. I mean, that would be a benefit, but I can't imagine whoever replaced him is going to be great.
The ghost of Jeff Epstein.
Trump's best friend.
Yeah.
Laud Gnomes again. What international act of protest would you rather have Congress adopt? Performing a haka in New Zealand or grabbing the bill and fleeing the floor? I like the fleeing the floor because it's so ridiculous and it creates this commotion where people are chasing each other around. So I vote for that one. Kowalski, that's not the right one. That's somebody else's. Kowalski. The capitalist class is very happy with this current party power turnover. Labor is weakened, the rent economy gets solidified, regulations are unenforceable, and public servants lose their skill. I'm waiting for the good news. Archangel, thank you for your super chat. Says, I don't think people understand how stupid the average American is. I bet 20% or less could pass a citizenship test, and yet we give them the power to elect the extremists who will lead our country. At the same time, you can't limit voting. Like there's other ways to address that than, just blaming people that are stupid, I guess is what you're trying to do here. I get your point, but I don't know. Is any voter as terrible as Trump is as a person, and he's the actual fucking president? Like, I say we focus the attention on that as opposed to the voters. Koru says the rich will inherit the earth. Just a little adjustment to the old adage. Let's have some positivity. Everything's so fucking sad.
I know.
Notoriously Bratty, thank you for your super chat. Looked into Steve Boots yet? Lance can vouch for him. Steve is a fan of yours. Let's build a Canadian political commentary community for the next election. I feel like I've heard his name now a bunch of times. I just don't watch a lot of politics.
Awesome. If you want uniquely Canadian takes from a lefty who makes really well produced videos, highly recommend Steve Boots.
All right, there you go. Maybe we should have him on the show then. Yeah, especially leading up to the
I'll
election.
look up Steve Boots. He's on YouTube.
He's on YouTube and Twitch.
Okay.
Atheist Danny says, have you read Albert Einstein's Why Socialism essay? I don't believe I have. It is funny that certain things that about certain people like Albert Einstein that don't get popularized the way other things that they do. Like I think of the same, what was I just thinking about? I forget the example now, but there's other examples of that. MLK, same thing, where it's like they ignore a large part of like the fact that he was a huge leftist. Like it's
George
the way
Orwell,
people
too.
are immortalized, and they just cut off the part where it's like, oh, they were socialists too. It's clearly intentional.
Yeah, George Orwell is a socialist as well, and Republicans like to quote 1984. They very clearly haven't read it or don't think that it's a warning for what we're experiencing in the modern day in certain ways.
They should read Homage to Catalonia that talks about his first-hand experience volunteering to fight Franco with the socialists in that battle. It's probably his best book, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. I haven't read that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Ethan Cole, yo, David, do you mind plugging Steve Boots for me? Here we go. Another one for Steve Boots. He's a smaller progressive Canadian YouTuber who does daily videos on political ongoings. It's good. There you go. If you are Canadian, check out Steve Boots.
I just subscribed to Steve Boots.
Lawn gnomes, or even if you're not Canadian, you need a break from the American shit. It's always good to. I think I'll be dipping back into Canada a little more now, just to get my.
I will be too.
Just to cleanse my brain. Then again, it's no cleanse because we got our own shit here, so it's not really an escape. Lawn gnomes says the InfoWars mailing list is going to have regrets. Yes, I really hope the Onion gets to utilize that. The Lumpin Law. No, that's not mine. Dynamic Editor says, Mike, please respond to your emails. It's been 2 months.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think the Discord server can be a great place to find help during this Trump term. I just find it funny that you sent this to me, but
I will try to remember. I don't know what I am needed for the Discord server because I don't have a part in operating it. But I will try to remember that. I'm sorry.
Charlie says, have a dono, bud. Thank you. Thank you very much for your generosity. Law Gnomes says ground game means zilch without policy and vision. Absolutely. Paul M, once I find you, I will read your chat. Says, what percentage of the Trump voters do you think were from people that want the system burnt down? How many of them did it knowing they'd burn as well? Hard to know those numbers, but I'm sure there is a percentage where that was the perspective.
All right.
A few more. Bitey Face Puppy Guy, thank you for your $20 super chat with no message. Appreciate it. Again, Bitey Face Puppy Guy. This is further down. Says, no, there's one. That's not mine. that mine? That's not mine. As an Ontarian, hearing about these monsters in Trump's cabinet reminds me of the dark days of drowning in the putrescence of the Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka. Oh my God, I forgot all about that. Yeah, that was a grim time. Seth Wade, I'm a kid's mental health worker in Red, Missouri. I'm not trying to fearmonger or push paranoia, but our LGBTQ kids are feeling the effects of this regression, and it breaks me. I'm with them. Thanks, y'all. Yeah, the impact on culture, I think, isn't given the attention it really deserves. The impact that Trump had the first time, and not just him. Again, the culture he brings in, it's very depressing.
Yeah.
Last one, Brian. Apologies for me being so tired. Brian says, what are your thoughts on Kyle Kalinski's push for Jon Stewart 2028? I don't think John would ever do it. I think he would definitely win if he did.
Wants to run for office many times on a show. When interviewed, he doesn't want it.
Also, why do people keep looking at 2028? Like, we got a while to go before we even need to think about this. Like,
Yeah, I can't
I
even
think it's
think
because
about
people need
another
hope
election.
right now. I think people need something positive to look forward to.
There's nothing. You gotta come to terms with. Yeah, if you're gonna look at something, look at the midterms. At least that's somewhere where we actually know the Democrats could win, because they've won. They've been winning in special elections and those type of races. Because I hate to say it, but it seems like as of right now, at least, Democrats are the ones who thrive in low voter turnout situations. Right now, I mean, that's what turned it around for Trump. All those new and undecided voters who everyone assumed would be voting Democrat, no, they went for Trump. That was the difference maker. Like, if you look at those swing states, as more votes come in, Kamala actually, in the swing states, either hit or exceeded Biden's 2020 votes. Like, yes, overall Democratic turnout was down, but that's if you count like California and New York and New Jersey and those states. But the data now shows that she actually hit or exceeded Joe Biden's 2020 turnout. It's just that Trump turned out even more. That's the real thing to fucking worry about.
That's so bizarre. Why? I guess is my question. I would like to know why.
And the thought of 2028, I don't think people understand it. We're still in 2024. The next president, assuming we have a new president ever, they're not going to take office until 2029. We're talking about the end of the decade. It is a long time. So I understand. I think that it makes sense that people want to be hopeful, but I can't even think that far ahead right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be great.
I think we gotta stop like the fake hope stuff. Like, I get that we need to decompress and but if you want to do that, like, step away from politics for a minute. Like, we all need to. I'm not saying that as like a put down. Like, go watch a movie, go do a hobby, watch some sports. Like, I think we need to deal with the reality though of our political situation here, and that it's we're in a very much wait and see type scenario where we have to find out if this turnout can be sustained or if this is just for Trump. Because if it's goes beyond Trump, then there's going to be a real problem.
Right.
Yeah. Last one, just a voice. Thank you for your super chat. Very generous. Says, love your CanCon, David. Hang in there. These are just nominations. Much love to you all. Yeah, these are just nominations. I wish I could be that positive about what Trump is doing. All right. Good night, you all. See you all next week for episode 100. Oh my God. What kind of surprises
hold
are in
on.
store?
I'm not going to be here next Thursday. Did we decide to move it to Wednesday, or is that still not decided?
We can, but the following week is Thanksgiving, so we'd have to move it to Wednesday 2 weeks in a row and throw
even better.
off.
We'll teach our audience that Wednesday is the night for the next 2 weeks. If that's fine with everybody else.
You're not taking Thursday off the Thanksgiving week? You guys are working that week?
I mean, I'm fine with doing a show Wednesday. We don't got to do a long show.
I'm fine next week with Wednesday. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with Wednesday too.
Are you fine with that, Lance?
I think so. Let me get back to you, but pretty much as of now, yeah.
What you can do jumped in, and we're basically eating into Left Past 10's time. That's their time slot. Well, you guys got to switch to Thursday.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm down with doing a pre-Thanksgiving show, by the way.
Oh, sorry, I got one more. Philip, thank you. Very generous. Says, been smoking too much. Thanks for hanging in with us. Thank you. I should be smoking too much.
I'm actually thinking if we do a pre-Thanksgiving show on Wednesday before Thanksgiving on Thursday, maybe I'll get enough super chats to go so long that people can switch straight from the stream to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
I thought you were going to say you were going to go so long that you'd be able to afford a turkey for Thanksgiving.
No, you could just, I'll be going, and then before you know it, I'm saying, all right, guys, peace. And then 8 a.m. Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade starts. Just switch on over.
I was in New York City it was 2017. It was right after Thanksgiving. I think we had just missed the parade, or I don't know, whatever the hell was going on there. But it's a great time to get to be in New York because like the Christmas decorations are up, and New York is such a great. If I could live in the U.S., I'd probably live in New York City. It's just a great city.
I lived there for a while. It's awesome.
Oh, it's so
you know what they say about New York, right? If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Well,
it's up to
what
you.
if I already made it here and then I moved there?
No, that doesn't go the other way. It doesn't go the other way.
But I've already made it.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. It's not if you can make it in Albuquerque, then you could also make it in New York.
But if you move that success from Albuquerque into New York, you still continue the success that you had.
I mean, maybe New York eats you alive.
Well, that's possible too.
Because it's a concrete jungle.
Yeah, clearly, I'm here too long.
This is what you're missing, David. Isn't this riveting?
Riveting.
Okay,
way too close.
Lance, do you want to go first before?
Yeah, I can go. I don't have a lot. I'll read them quick while you're setting up. Angel Roberto Salgado Perez, thank you for the MX20. Did you consider Rest in Puss for the new name? Love from Mexico. You too. Do you want to vote on that? Rest in Puss.
I like it.
No takers. Malin Miller with the $5. RFK Jr. continuing the Kennedy tradition of losing bits of their brain. This is true. Celeste with the $1.99. I fear Dem Rats won't fight back as hard this term. Then I fucking primary them. Don't let them become the nominees. Actually I don't ever spend time, money, or energy on people that you don't believe in. Like I only canvass and phone bank and knock on doors for politicians who I am aligned with. Like they're going to represent, my beliefs. Otherwise I vote. And it's just like a one-day thing. I'm not gonna spend my money or my time or any of that kind of shit. Charlie Jinmere with the $5. Would the lawyer associated with Jones be the same one who leaked his text to the opposing lawyers? I don't know if he's still with that lawyer, but I don't see Jones firing that guy because it's Alex Jones. Looney Tunes, thank you for the $1.99. New name for MTG. Marjorie Karen Green. Michelle Marty with the $2. Mike, I love you so much. That was probably from when we were talking about the debate, Mike. So there you go. Janelle M, thank you very much for the $5. Massive boss move by the Onion purchasing InfoWars with the blessing of the Sandy Hook parents. Totally agree. That is the win of 2024, in my opinion, if it goes through. I didn't get that bad news that Matt had until this episode, but I think it'll still go through. I think that's a small hiccup.
Oh, you don't learn. Nothing goes our way ever. You don't learn. I think it'll go through. Yeah. Thinking she'll win the election. Yeah, I'm thinking everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, we don't learn.
That's a liberal loss. Now the world lost there. To be a leftist is to suffer. Dennis with the $5. Thank you all. Thank you. Malin Miller with the very generous 20. I'm 26 now, and I've only become more socialist and beliefs with my age. I think we need socialism, Sunday communism. The only thing I don't understand is anarchism. Anarchy seems dangerous, but absolutely yes to socialism. That's because most people think of anarchy as from the movies, and they think of it as chaos or justification. I can give you a super quick description of anarchy. All hierarchies, the burden of proof for a hierarchy to exist has to that who holds the hierarchy the burden of proof is on them to justify that. So if there's someone in more power than another person, the burden of proof to why that hierarchy exists is on the person with power, which I think when it's explained like that, which is the way Noam Chomsky explains it, then I'm like, oh yeah, well, I agree. Yeah, of course. The burden of proof should be on the hierarchy. Before the cause gaming, $5. My town council elects 2 of 6 members each year. I'm one low income guy, but I'm gearing up for next year. Better start going to the meetings. Hell yeah. And also join your local BSA. That's fucking awesome. And finally, the Letter Hack, which everyone should go subscribe to because Letter Hack makes really good shit. Why not combine Left Past 10 with Leftist Mafia on one of the Wednesdays, make a group show, cover the airwaves? I'm sure we're totally down to do a collab sometime. We'll reach out.
If we do a combine, we should do it the following week, not next week, because next week is episode 100 and we have some special stuff planned.
Oh yeah, we have a huge announcement for episode.
But the week after that,
big surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Take it away.
Leaving the show.
We're canceling the show.
It's off. There's a big difference. You've been fired.
Okay, Matt, do you want me to just go through? I'll read all mine, and then I'll go through yours. You read all yours, and I'll just put them up on the screen. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Let's do it.
I feel like that's the easiest way, so that we're not like, oh, is this yours or mine? Okay. Yeah. So first and foremost, we have Unknown. Thank you so much for the £10. Really appreciate that. Your Discord has started compiling resources to help people through the Trump term. We would appreciate all input possible, including an email response. Okay, I will try to check. I'm sorry. Also, did you check out Heartstopper? I did not check out Heartstopper, but I will try to check out Discord, and I will go through my emails. I apologize again, sincerely. Thank you so much, Tyler Hackner, for the 22 months. My next one is from B. Wood. Thank you for the $5. How about On Your Left for a new name, a Captain America reference? I don't like it, but I appreciate the recommendation. Chris Corcoran with $2. New show name, Electile Dysfunction. I kind of like that. I kind of like it, but it's very male-centric.
True.
And it's
I mean, that's like also it very much like pegs us as strictly a political type show, and I think we obviously are mainly that, but I think we go beyond that and talk about cultural stuff too.
We do. That's true. I think we need to venture out a little bit more and talk about like some gaming stuff or movies more, which we do, but I think that'll help us have more broad appeal.
True.
Okay, Archangel, thank you for the $10. Appreciate that. Trying to be upset about the election, but I just can't. This country deserves every crazy thing Trump will do to it. Look at the clowns in his cabinet. It's likely to be a horror show. The USA sucks. I totally agree. I wish there was some way to exempt people who didn't vote for this clown from all of the consequences. I hate that we all have to find out after his supporters fucked around. It's really frustrating. But yeah, I absolutely understand the sentiment.
Plus, no one in other countries is exempt from the shit that the U.S. does from them, which always really fucking sucks.
Yeah, shit rolls downhill. And yeah, I feel bad for the other countries as well because they have no say over our dumb fuck electorate's decisions. It really is just frustrating. Thank you for the super sticker Death on a Plate. It's a sticker of a microphone. Thank you so much. The International Party of Antarctica. Thank you for the $2. Comrade High Commander Cold seeks a debate. Well, I don't fuck with cold. I am much more of a warm climate person, so I refuse. I'm scared. Bay Photo, thank you for the $4.99. Ellie Mistala is right. 7-2 really isn't different than 6-3 when Trump will have appointed 5 of the 9 justices. SCOTUS is cooked without major reform. Yeah, I agree to an extent, and I agree in terms of just the way the cases will be decided. It will matter eventually when that flips. By the time that happens in the far future, though, the country will be so cooked. So I get it, but at the same time, I think trying to keep it from going 7-2 is still long-term going to benefit us, even if it won't make a difference at all in the short term. Miguel Salquero, thank you for the $10. People's anger towards Dems is an example for the left to talk about democracy, electoral reform. We need to talk about proportional representation, multi-member districts, a multi-party system is needed. Yeah, Miguel, I tried this so much. I I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. I don't know why I'm quoting Linkin Park, but
I was like, is that Linkin Park?
I don't know,
hear it
just-
now. Try so hard.
It was on my heart. I mean, we had the opportunity. I think it was Don Byers Jr. who proposed legislation that would do just that. It would create independent commissions for redistricting. It would change our district magnitude, so that way we have more proportional representation. There's not a lot that you can do in our presidential system, but you can make it more proportional with multi-member districts, and the bill would have done just that. And I tried to get lefties on board. It was HR 4000. I even, behind the scenes, when I was still friends with Jimmy Dore, back in 2017, he was talking about, third parties. And I'm like, hey, this bill, HR 4000, promote this. Tell people to call and get their representatives to co-sponsor it. He mentioned it once on his show. So I've given up. The third parties don't really promote electoral reform. We had ranked choice voting on the ballot in Oregon, and it was on the ballot in Colorado. And they both failed overwhelmingly. Didn't see much talk from the National Green Party to recommend this. I just have kind of given up on that front because I tried so hard, but I'm only one person. And even though I have a pretty big platform, I can't catalyze a national movement. So what you're saying is 1,000% true, Miguel, but it's just so hard to get people to understand that they have to do that before they start getting third parties that are viable, because we have a bajillion parties already. The problem is the system. So I'm with you. I'm with you so hard, but I'm just kind of burnt. International Party of Antarctica with $2. Thank you. The U.S. is imploding. Clown arm up and start prepping. Yes. Become doomsday preppers. Arm yourselves. If you don't know how to use a gun, you can get like one of those police grade tasers for like $300 or $400. Make sure that you update your passport just in case. I'm not saying it's going to come to that, but always be ready. Better to be safe than sorry. That's my take, especially if you're a queer person or a person of color in a red state where you're much more vulnerable. Try to make friends and connections with people in blue states, so in the event you need to, you can go there if shit hits the fan really badly in those red states. But just don't become a doomsday prepper. Don't be a crazy person, but, take precautions. The Lumpen Lodge, thank you for the $2. Gravy seals are being deputized into lynch mobs. Yeah. Police officers, everybody, they're all going to become basically Border Patrol agents effectively if this mass deportation plan does go through, and it seems like they are intent on doing that. So, I mean, it's going to get really fucking ugly. There's no other way to put it. It's just going to get really bad. Oxpecker, thank you for the $5. To whom it may concern, Destiny and Xander Hall are encouraging the Democratic Party to blacklist several leftist outlets, including the Majority Report. I think
What does that mean? What do these guys think, that there's been access? Who fucking cares?
Yeah, they're already basically blacklisted, right?
No, we've been blacklisted. Oh no, the same fucking show they've been doing and we've been doing for the past how many years? Give me a break.
Yeah.
AOC,
Are you guys from the DNC?
AOC just went on her Instagram and asked people what progressive media they listen to, and then
it was the Daily Show and the Majority Report.
Yeah.
Does she watch fucking Destiny and Xanderthal? I don't know. She didn't say she did.
Xanderthal.
Whatever the fuck his name is. Give me a break.
No, I'm laughing because who cares? Yeah, I know.
Oh no. We've been blacklisted from the Democratic Party. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. I don't think many of us banked on getting access when we started these fucking shows.
Yeah, I didn't do this for the access.
Right, yeah.
I hope everyone realized that.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't even know his fucking name. People
go to the DNC.
People in the YouTube in the chat are like laughing at how I pronounce it. I don't even know how to fucking pronounce his name. Xanderhall, Xanderthal, Xanadu. I don't give a shit.
You lost your assets, bro.
Give me a break. Fucking
Lumpen
maybe they should do the real important thing after the electoral loss and that's try to get Twitch to ban Hassan, which they've been trying to do and
That's
seemingly
praxis.
failing at.
Seems like
So
that
maybe
seems
they
like-
should spend time doing that, or maybe some of them could do another stream with Nick Fuentes. Maybe that'll really show where the Democrats are at. Give me a break.
Lumpin Lodge, thank you for the $2. Trump and Alex Jonestown are Scientologists. I don't think they're anything. I think Trump is just probably atheist or agnostic, if I had to guess.
He's definitely not a Christian. That's all I know.
No, not a Christian at all. Foil Grim Tinney, thank you for the $2. You ask for evidence first, then argue. I think this was in response to something earlier. The way that I read it at first, it sounded like an accusation. Like, hey, Mike, you ask for evidence first, and then you argue. Like, what do you want? I don't think that's what you're going for. I'm sorry, I don't remember what this was in reference to, but I appreciate you sending in that super chat. Kowalski, thank you for the $10. It is time to unleash the spirit of Huey Long in Nebraska. Rent control for apartments and farmlands, nationalized packing plants, greenhouse communities, real populism, be for something, vengeance. I would love that. The one thing that I hope we get out of this, if we get anything, is a population that is much more radical. Americans need to embrace radicalism and not be afraid of that, because the system is not going to change itself. And I don't think you can really change the system if you work within the system, be it through the Democratic Party or through a third party that's still working within the system. I think that you need real grassroots momentum in this country to get actual change. And that's going to come through labor power, some type of general strike, something like that. Because I just don't think that you can accomplish much the way that we've been doing it, electing like 1 to 2 progressives each cycle. Not that that's all that we've been doing, but I think we just need to expand our approach to politics. Philip Schwartz, thank you for the $5. The right was constantly messaging for years while the Democrats didn't push back at all. Exactly. They were completely quiet while the right pushed conspiracy. And that is part of the problem. They did nothing when the right talked about the open border. They just let that go unchallenged. When it came to the trans in sports issue, they didn't contextualize it and say, hey, there's like 100 trans kids in sports across the country. What are we talking about this for? This is a distraction, because they want to divide and conquer. There was nothing. So yeah, I agree 1,000% with you. The Democratic Party has completely shit the bed. And because of their failure, that's why the right is so emboldened in this country. Thank you, Brady, for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Thank you for the 5 from, Charlie DeGinmer. I stand with Spicy Mike and the rest of my LGBTQ found fam. F Trump voters right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that, Charlie. Sir Bikes a Lot Day, thank you for the 5. Will someone please correct Matt Bender? And Biden's job was to stop Bernie Sanders, not Trump. Biden got elected for the same reason why Trump won. I'm not sure what to correct Matt Bender on, but Bender, you're wrong. I think it was both though.
I meant what he said. I meant what he said. His job was like that was his whole pitch. That was his campaign ad. That was how he jumped into the race.
Right.
He used the Charlottesville clips and explained how like he was going to be the one to stop fascism. And give me a break.
I do agree with Matt. So I actually will not correct him there, because that
was what he claimed his whole deal was. Like, I mean, obviously we know his job, according to the Democrats in the primary, was to stop Bernie Sanders. But overall, in the big picture, he claimed his job was to stop Trump.
Right.
And he was the guy who could do it. I'm sorry, like thinking about it, like if this was going to be the end game, it probably would have been better just to go through another 4 years of Trump right after 2020. This is the worst. I think this is the worst case scenario, actually.
Yeah, that's not unreasonable, actually, to think about it that way. The one benefit is that
and the Supreme Court,
because it would have flipped this time.
He would have been the one responsible for having to pull the country out of COVID. He would have failed, just like Biden seemingly did. But I think he would have failed even harder.
But how much worse would the vaccine rollout would have been? Because when Biden took office, there was no infrastructure in place to actually distribute them. So we might have been.
I mean, it would have. I think it would have been. I think it would have. I think it would have been done simply because there wasn't that hardcore anti-vaxxer sentiment yet among the Republicans. On top of that, he wouldn't have known he could get away with everything. Like he now knows he could get away with. He got away with January 6th.
That's true. That's a great point.
And all the fucking court cases for all the various fucking things, from trying to overturn the election, from the harassing the election workers in Georgia, to the financial crimes in New York, the whole shebang. He knows he got away with everything, and he'll get away with everything, and there's nothing that can stop him. This is the worst case scenario. He probably should have just fucking won in 2020.
Oh my God. Yeah. You know what? I agree with that. That's such a great case. Damn, we fucked ourselves. They fucked us.
Just think about it. Like there was still like this belief throughout his term that like there were some sort of guardrail stopping him, that he and his administration even held back on certain things. Like they didn't deliver on almost anything they said they were going to deliver of any meaning. Like, yeah, they did some horrible things, but they promised a lot worse and they didn't deliver.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I think any of those concerns, worries are out the window, and we're in for a real fucking time.
Yeah. I didn't really think about that. That's something. Fuck. Tara, thank you so much for the 5. I wish our representatives were as worked up as you, Mike. Oh, thank you. Like, where's the fight? Why is Biden being civil with Trump? Why normalize him? And that's the thing that is so frustrating to me, is that so many of these Democrats, they rightfully call him a fascist, but the second they have the chance to hold hands with him and sing Kumbaya, they take that chance. And then you add Trump talking about a smooth transition, the smoothest transition ever. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, because Biden isn't trying to overturn the election. It's just the fact that Biden is just like chumming it up with him. Like, I don't expect him to like fucking, I don't know, like attack him, but it's gross to see that. And I hate it so much. Liberals are not capable of adequately combating fascism. Like, they can call themselves the resistance, but that's bullshit. They're paper tigers. Like, they will roll over in a second. And it's frustrating that that's the case because fascists are fucking idiots. If you look throughout history, and even around the world, fascists are deeply incompetent idiots. So it shouldn't be that difficult to run roughshod over them. But then when you have the Democratic Party that just doesn't give a fuck at all, you get the perfect scenario where a fucking fascist can take over, and one of two parties can become fascist. It's really frustrating. Zero PE, thank you for the $4.99. They already have a list going on of the nonprofits they're going after. Interesting. Okay, here's the link if anybody wants to look into that. Yeah, I would not be surprised if we saw Palestinian nonprofits and queer nonprofits get targeted. I would not be surprised at all if that happened. Yeah, appreciate the link, Lod. Zero. Sorry. Logic Bees sends the $1.99. Appreciate that. Trans flag emoji. I donated 5 times and she's still DL'd GLBT. Yeah, that was part of the problem too. Kamala didn't mention trans people a single time in her platform. If you go to the civil rights and LGBTQ section, the only mention of trans is the T in LGBT. She didn't actually say trans people. And this is the problem with Democrats. They just cannot fight. They're too afraid. They look at the polls, or they think that certain things are unpopular or not poll tested enough, and they just can't be authentic. They can't stand for what they believe in. And I hate that so much. Okay, the next one is from Marley Morgan. Thank you for the 5. I live in Louisiana. I'm planning on trying to get to Chicago before January. If you could, that would be awesome. If you have the means to get into a blue state, I would highly encourage you to do that. I know it's easier said than done. Lots of you can't leave your jobs and your family. I understand it, but if you have the ability to, I would recommend doing that. You're not going to be shielded from everything in blue states, but it will be better than red states without a doubt. Look for Alec. Thank you for $5. Oh, I just missed. Shit, hang on. RE, people failing up. True in every profession I've been in. Capitalism side effect. I've taken jobs only for more money knowing I was not qualified. Yeah, I mean, we see it in government. We see it in companies. It doesn't matter how bad you do. We do not live in a meritocracy, contrary to popular belief. Ignar Husky, thank you so much for the 5. Those Maori are some badasses. We need more stuff like this in our politics. Yeah, we do. We really do. Marley Morgan, thank you for the 5. Chloe Cole is apparently coming to speak at my local university on Trans Day of Remembrance. People are not happy. I'm thinking of joining protests. If you can, yeah, absolutely. This is the detransitioner that Republicans are citing, I believe, right? In different gender affirming care bans. But yeah, if you can protest the transphobe, hell yeah, I would recommend you try to do that. Nadia Yvette Chambers, thank you for the member chat. Appreciate you. They'll declare trans people inherently obscene, and there are few enough for them to mass imprison them all. Libs are denying there'll be prison. Yeah, I think that liberals are downplaying a lot. Part of it is cognitive dissonance. The thing is that we don't know how bad it's going to get. I'm just taking Trump at his word. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he'll do what he did last time and didn't follow through, but I think that that's wishful thinking. I'm encouraging everybody to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Protect yourself. Protect yourself in a number of ways, right? Like, don't use these applications that have geo trackers. If you're queer, don't use period tracking apps. If you use them, just be very careful. Try to use encrypted communication services like Signal if you can. Be very, very careful about what you say online. They're going to be looking for reasons to come after people. Having said that, don't cower in fear. Like, don't live your life as if, they're ready to come sweep you away and throw you in the gulag. Don't do that. That's not going to help anybody, but just do common sense things to just protect your data, protect yourself. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't want to scare anyone, but just you need to be realistic and make sure you don't do anything to jeopardize your own security in this time. Lizzie Bennett, thank you for the $10. Loved it when you doubled down your thoughts on these Trump tards. I miss those hour-long shows you used to have exclusively on Patreon. Please bring them back. Sincerely, your favorite sock them. Well, thank you, Lizzie. Hour-long shows on Patreon. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I do still do the monthly Zoom calls with patrons and YouTube members, $5 and up. And those are super long. Usually I'm there for like 6 hours. So I do still do that if that's what you're referring to. Feel free to come by. Those are always a ton of fun. Okay, Rhonda is the next one. Here we go. Rhonda Abrams. I'm almost done, by the way, Matt. Thank you for the $5. Leftist Mafia is great. Appreciate that. Alternative Atlas shrugged. Better than any of the recommendations we've come up with. I will say that. I think it's probably best to just keep Leftist Mafia at this point. Maybe we get a new logo or something. I don't know. So it feels fresh. I don't know. Chris Corcoran, thank you for the $10. Rachel Zegler, Snow White got shit from dudes like Elon after she called out Trump voters post-election. An apology came out that clearly wasn't hers. As someone who's pro-Gaza, we must keep her safe. Yeah, I didn't hear about this, but yeah, good for her for speaking out. I hate that she took it back, but never ever give in to the mob. You always double down and triple down, especially if you're right. Fuck them. Nadia Yvette Chambers, thank you for the $10. Greg Palast has some serious material that might raise some worthwhile questions. There'll never be certainty, but it's still worth having that certainty, especially about the voting public. Questions with regard to like the election results. I don't know if this is in reference to like the Stop the Steal liberals or whatever, but I think that it would be hilarious if liberals did a January 6th. That would genuinely make me think that I'm living in a simulation. But I don't know if that's what you're referring to, so I won't get into that rabbit hole. Parched Pigeon 9, thank you for the $4.99. I know we're scared on what's going to happen next, but remember, we need to stick together and fight back. Don't give up. We can all get through this. Thank you for the encouragement. Really appreciate those words. I'm sure other people appreciate that too, Parched. Funky Fwesh, thank you for the $5. I love y'all, but can we please not use ableist slurs like libtard and Trumptard? We should call out awful takes without being bigots. Is that in reference to the super? I think it might be in reference to the super chats. I don't use.
No, you said that word when you were talking earlier about.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. I will try to avoid that. It was more of like a, hey, this is what they say, being ironic. But yeah, I see your point. Okay, dynamic editor, thank you so much for the $5. Mike, my goal in the Discord is to make sure things are up to your standards, make sure organizing is set up, and make a YouTube community post about it. Well, I don't know what I'm looking at, if I'm being honest, on Discord, because I don't use it. So I'm sure it's fine. I think you should. I'll try to check my email to be sure. I'm not trying to worm out of that. I will try to remember to do that. But make sure it's up to your guys' standards, because you all use it. So, make sure it's a space for you all, since I'm not really part of it. Asa, thank you for the $2. Only thing right now I'm looking forward to is GTA 6 and Mafia. That is true. GTA 6, right? Trump can't take that away from us. Unless the obscenity laws come into effect.
He did target gamers in some of his speeches. I was like, oh, that's going to backfire. You don't go after the gamers, not the capital G gamers. Come on.
Yeah, we'll see. Oxpecker, thank you for the $2. Oh, sick. I found a full can of Mountain Dew under my chair. I don't know, Ox. Seems a little bit suspicious. Miguel Salcedo, thank you for the $5. I would push back and say, start in the States. Vermont has a successful progressive party. Democracy is equally important, just like universal health care. Yeah, I think that there are certain things you can do to subvert the system. I think Working Party's family, DSA in certain states, have a good blueprint. So I think that's fair pushback, Miguel. Brian Schroed, thank you for the 5. Okay, I've got like 5 left. I'm sorry, Matt.
It's all good.
Also from Oregon, RIP RCV. Also, Christine Drazen, who lost the last governor race, just became my state rep by running unopposed. F that lady. Did she really? God, we cannot get rid of this lady. Next one, Nadia Yvette Chambers. Thank you for the $5. There we go. Okay. This is way underestimated. It's a combination of 1876 and a coup like the U.S. has imposed on the rest of the world. Yeah, I will say, Nadia, try not to catastrophize too much. I know it's really bad, but just do what you can to protect yourself. I don't even there's no. I can't be like, yeah, it's gonna be okay. It's hard to sugarcoat it. Just make a plan to protect yourself and, protect your security for sure, because shit's going to hit the fan. Celeste, thank you for the $1.99. We need God. We need a God. We need something, because goddamn, is it bad right now. Nadia Yvette Chambers, thank you for the 5. Protests and organizations will be militarily ended, and LGBT people will be, and more will be mass imprisoned, lives ended. Handmaid's Tale 2. I don't know if it's going to get that bad. Don't catastrophize that much. I don't think that they'll outright imprison us. At least not yet, but they will absolutely restrict our civil rights and civil liberties in a bunch of ways. So just, again, as I said, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Marley Morgan, thank you for the $5. I have a concern about media censorship like Russia's gay propaganda law. That's what I'm thinking is kind of more what's going to happen here. Orban did that. Russia did it. A gay propaganda type law that would completely skull fuck all of our channels into oblivion. That would make, the expression of queerness more of a problem. I mean, I want to say, well, it's, that would violate the First Amendment, but he has the courts, so it's hard to say. But something like that would be, I think, the worst case scenario in terms of how far they'd be willing to go, but who knows?
I'm also surprised we haven't been reached out to by, how Tenet got all the money from Russia. Why isn't China tapping on all of our channels and being like, here's $10 million for you to talk about how good our EV industry is? Which I would be like, well, I already talk about how good your EV industry is. What a surprise. Yes, I am for sale.
Yeah, your high-speed rail, that's phenomenal. Yeah. We should have that here. Michael Huziak, thank you for the $5. Hey, do you think there's a distinction between a comedian's bit and speaking for the candidate in regards to Tony Hinchcliffe? I don't really know. I don't think it matters. Because if you invite somebody on stage and you vet his speech and you allow that to happen, you allow him to insult Puerto Ricans. I think that's a terrible move, and you are effectively representing the campaign, especially if you're speaking at an event sanctioned by the campaign. Turns out that didn't really matter, but I absolutely I don't erase Trump's culpability here. You can say, maybe he was incompetent, but you had him speak, and he submitted that speech beforehand.
Yeah, they edited it.
Oh, they did edit it, right? They took out something.
They took out.
Do you know what it
C
was?
They originally he had a joke with the. Can you say? I can say that on stream, can I? Either way, I won't roll the dice on this one. But either way, they had a joke where they had part of the campaign was like, "Kamala's a C word," and then all of a sudden, and the word is communism. Like that was the whole
right.
That was
right. Very, very subtle. Let's see here. I've got 2 left. Thank you for becoming a member, Zanikin Banachek. And one last one. Thank you to Nadia again for the $10. State laws to mass imprison all trans people already landed in multiple states and are mere preludes to national ones. Recriminalization of sodomy is also a declared intent in Thomas and Dobbs concurrence. Right. Yeah. No, I understand, Nadia. Yeah, it's scary. It's just we're gonna have to take this a day at a time and see what comes up, and see what happens, and then figure out what to do going forward. It's gonna be really ugly. Just hopefully you have some people to lean on, and other queer people that you can talk to during this time, because it's we're gonna need support. Okay, I am officially done, Matt.
Wow. Are you sure?
Yes, God, I'm sorry. That took way longer. The problem was I wouldn't stop engaging more than I usually do, and I needed to just stop talking. But I'll try to follow along with you if you go to your first one.
It's all good. Actually, I should mention, I forgot to tell people to follow my second channel that I've started, that I want to stream stuff on that's not politics, like the gaming. So I'm going to drop that in quick.
Matt, your sound's getting out.
Yeah.
Is it really unbelievable? How does this happen like every fucking time? Give me a second.
Every time we get to super chats, that's when it starts doing
it. That's when it starts doing it. I'll quickly read one then. Jar for $5. Thank you. Going to be painful watching the same shit happen in belated slow motion in Canada. This is why I keep telling everyone, organize locally. I'm actually really excited to kick out my fucking right-wing cop mayor. I'm banding together with a bunch of political parties. We can do it. I'm very excited for it. I have no hope for the federal election, but in my local election, which affects my life a lot more, I'm going to kick out our piece of shit mayor, and we're going to put in a fucking awesome lefty. So start joining local orgs. Start organizing locally.
Honestly,
really
that really is the ticket right there. Local politics is it's food for the soul. Even just meeting up with people and having a conversation will make you feel less alone. I get that you kind of get that through the internet by listening to us, but actually engaging with somebody in real life and knowing that there are people in the real world who feel the same way you do, I'm telling you,
you feel way less hopeless too. I have no control over the federal election on a large scale, but on the local Vancouver election, after meeting with a whole bunch of different political parties, we can do this, and I'm like, holy shit, I feel like I have power now, and we're gonna band together and reuniting the houses and all this shit. I'm really excited to fucking kick out.
I like that.
Ken Sim, goodbye, Ken Sim. Your days are numbered.
All right, do I sound better now or no?
That sounds good so far.
Okay, good. I wonder why that happens. Very bizarre.
Yeah.
All right, let me read. Oh, and I closed everything, so now I don't have my super chats in front of me. Hold on. It didn't help that I was sick this week with a cough and couldn't stop coughing, so I didn't get to do my own show this week. So
did you get your new computer though?
It just came. I did not set it up fully yet. I'm still on my
Nice.
old computer, but that will be stopping. Next time you guys see me, it should be on my new computer. I
Right
basically
on.
like completely cleaned out my closet space that I use for my workspace / studio. So it's ready. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna be jumping in thanks to Donald Trump winning the election. I'm jumping right back into it, full throttle, folks.
Nice.
So youtube.com/Matt Binder if you're not already following me there. And when I need to decompress, I'm not going to give you copium. That's when I'll go to my second channel and play some Fortnite with you all.
Nice.
All right, so let's go to all right, Charlie the Ginnemer, thank you so much for becoming a member at youtube.com/Matt Binder. Thanks as well to Joyce Maddox. Thank you so much. What can you do with a super chat? I think you should do the name change. Great rating stunt. It could even be temporary as long as some scamps don't snatch it up. We should do the
We should do just
I-
here's
I-
our
I don't
name
know why,
change.
but
Leftist Mafia. Drop the
I did like Six Talk.
It worked for
I did
Facebook.
like Six Talk. Six
I
Talk
don't
stuck
like
with me a
that.
little bit. I like the play on words. I like the
But it just sounds like sex talk.
Yeah, I know that's the point.
Oh, yeah. I was like, that one.
I like it. It's all right. Charlie Legitimate with a membership super chat, member for 16 months. Like it or not is a great name for a show. My dad with a membership chat, member for 15 months. Thank you, Dad. Maybe Matt should resurrect his punk band's name. It's a fucking catastrophe. Not bad, actually.
Yeah.
That was the name of my band, by the way. It's a fucking catastrophe.
Oh, okay, nice.
Kowalski with a $10 super chat. Due to congressional seniority rules, Trump has basically decapitated the Florida MAGA leadership in Congress. These freaks are gone in 4 years or less. This could be great for the long term. What do you mean? I missed something here.
He's just pulling a lot of people out of the House to fill roles in his administration. So maybe they lose elections and those seats get taken up by Democrats. Matt Gaetz' seat is very right-leaning, so I don't think that would happen. But it's possible at least Stefanik, her seat gets filled by a Democrat. I mean, I don't want to give everybody too much hopium because I'm not really sure. We'll see though.
Someone this isn't a super chat, but someone in the chat said, Godless Pacifist said, Matt, definitely bring back the band. I should. I need to do music again. I've been dabbling in it, but never put anything out. Maybe I should, maybe I should do it. It was the Bush years that made me start the band. So I mean, maybe the Trump years will instill that same creative spark.
The best art comes from a dark place usually, right?
It didn't the first 4 years of Trump, but maybe this one will. Looney Tunes 9000. RFK Jr. not only needs treatment for that vocal cancer, but he needs to stop cheating on his wife. Reg X with a $10 super chat. It's going to be a long 4 years, and I'm going to be watching my representatives like a hawk. No more neocons or neoliberals. I'm done. Through with that shit.
Hang on. Who is this last one? I'm sorry. I didn't catch up.
Reg X.
Reg X. Okay.
I mean, I think we really need to primary more people than ever before. What's the harm? It's primary. Who gives a shit? Everyone who blows it should be primaried. Starting with the people who voted for the Democrats that voted to give Trump the power
yeah,
to shut down any nonprofit organization that he deems that he doesn't like.
Go after Colin Allred first because he threw trans people under the bus and he voted to give Trump that extra power. Fuck him.
I mean, I don't mean to go after anyone first. I mean, these are people all over the country. They're Democrats all over the country. Every single one.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who's in office and isn't standing up to everything that Trump and his administration wants to do it does not deserve to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're in a blue state and have no reason to fucking, not even an electoral reason, not even that excuse. If you're in a blue state and voting for anything that this guy is going to do to hurt people or your constituents, then get out of here now.
Mm-hmm. And
Like,
start by making fun of
unbelievable.
them. Give these idiots names like Trump does. Chris Corcoran says that Rep. Debbie Dingle sucks ass. Well, then call her Debbie Dingleball. Everybody should call her Debbie Dingleball. Make that her name,
Just
and then she'll run from
primary them.
Congress.
Primary them.
She'll run away.
Primaried. Everyone should be primaried.
No, you don't have to primary them. Just stand in front of her office, and whenever she leaves, say "Dingleball, Dingleball," and she'll be running, screaming.
There's nothing. I see. Mike is backtracking now. It went from if you voted for Trump, you deserve to go to hell. But if you're a Democratic congressperson, just lightly heckle them outside their offices, please.
Okay, I'll modify it. Bring a guillotine with you, stand next to it just for the implicit threat, and then say Dingleball or Dingleberry. This is getting to the part where I'm tired and I say dumb shit.
Mike, your powerless neighbor who was fooled by Trump, he deserves the worst. Oh, the people in power who got us there? Smack them on the ass when they pass you by the streets. Tap their balls lightly when they pass by.
You see them in a restaurant enjoying a meal, fart on their food. Walk up to their plate, fucking fart on their food. That'll show them.
You're going out to dinner with your congressperson? You pay for the meal still, but you make them leave the tip. That'll show them.
Whoa, hey, he doesn't represent the leftist mafia, okay? We went too far. Things have gotten out of control. It's late.
Unbelievable. Every single one of these people, primary. Make them sweat. Even if they win in the end, you made them sweat. You didn't cause any harm. Maybe, if every single one of them is primaried, we get 1 or 2 wins. A single establishment Dem who sides with Trump on anything, losing just one of them would be completely worth it.
We need to set up some sort of an organization that fields candidates for Democrats that don't take corporate money. And they represent just us. Like, we can call it Justice Democrats or something. We'll come up with the name later. But we need to.
No, I don't want anything to do with the Justice Dems ended up being really great. But with the way you were bringing up, it made me think of the TYT version of it, which was they were much better when they got away from TYT, which should tell you something, I think. But but let's continue.
Okay, what's next? We're at rejects.
Tunbosin with the super chat. David Axelrod is trying to push Rahm Emanuel to head the DNC. Oh joy! But remember, Bernie never won nationally. No more woke stuff. Blah blah. I mean, they don't learn.
That's such a hilarious choice. Rahm Emanuel.
Single one of them. Every single one of these people. I mean, Trump has laid out the way to run campaigns now, and it works. Even in blue states, just fucking speak to exactly what they want to hear, and throw the establishment under the bus for not caring about your grocery prices and your wages and everything costing more than ever. Just do that. I was repeat that for Dems across the country. Seriously, because those are actually issues they should care about. Trump beat them at their own game by lying to people about him caring about those issues. But those should be the actual issues that Democrats are running on, because they should be the issues that they care about. Radio friendly box. Harris was never strong. She lost her own state in primary. She simply was not Biden. But then she did nothing to distinguish herself from him. I mean, she was a weak candidate from the beginning, and Biden did that to her. I mean, Biden gave her no shot. I mean, if there was a primary, it's very likely she would have won. I mean, she's the VP. And that primary battle would have given her that opportunity to grow her supporter base and turn them from like soft supporters who are just voting for her because she's an anti-Trump vote to actually like support her. Like that's what the primary is for. It's to strengthen the candidate. That's essentially what it's supposed to do. I mean, you wouldn't know about any of these people. If Bernie didn't start running in that primary in 2015, the vast majority of this country would just know him as just another senator. That primary put him on the map as a national figure. Omega with a super chat. Last week in Brooklyn made me grateful for the community online. Thanks, Majority Report, the Leftist Mafia, Francesca, RM Brown, and Alan as well. Even my dad. Thanking my dad. Thank you. My dad appreciates that. Charlie the Ginnemer with a super chat. I watch most of y'all's videos at work in secret, surrounded by MAGA turds, while hiding in the closet. It makes it bearable.
Hell yeah, Charlie. I love to hear that.
I want to talk to your to your MAGA turd co-workers. I would love to yeah.
I don't think he wants to have that conversation with them. That's why he's probably hiding in the closet.
Yeah. First order of business when talking to them. Do you know your coworker calls you a MAGA turd? Sarah with a $10 super chat. November 15th is the deadline to opt out if you don't want X to use your tweets to train Grok, as well as other companies use your tweets to train their AI. I have to look more into that. I mean, problem is I just can't leave Twitter. It's not because to do it. It's such a integral part of what I do. I don't even mean just posting there. Like I can't. I mean, everyone knows me for my work reporting on Twitter and Elon Musk. Can't do that if I'm not on there. It's just not possible. I fully encourage people to do whatever they deem necessary. There's nothing that would bring me more joy than seeing Blue Sky pull this off.
I would love to see that.
The momentum's there. They're at 16 million users right now.
Already? They were at 15 million like a couple of days ago.
Yeah. No, they gained 1 million just in the past 24 hours.
Wow.
This is, and you know, it's not plateauing. Like you would think, oh, like right after the election, there's a big boost and then it slowly starts to peter off. No, the opposite has happened, actually. It's been going from 100,000 new signups per day after the election to now 1 million. It's actually gaining momentum. I mean, obviously, it pales in comparison to what Twitter has and even Threads. Although Threads cheats because of the Instagram integration, which basically
Threads is so much.
Yeah. But if Blue Sky could pull it off, I mean,
I would love that. I'm glad that people are seemingly opting for Blue Sky over Threads. I hate Threads.
It's the first social media platform that the early adopters were leftists, artists. What is it? Black Twitter moved over there. Indigenous Twitter moved over there, and like it's the first time I've ever seen basically people who are creative and leftist dominate a social media platform. Juniper's the 5th biggest account on the whole website.
Really?
Yeah, like that's insane. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Not anymore. The Juniper's fallen a bit because there's some famous people. There's some famous people joining, and you know they get lots of fun. But listen, it's not backed by a big tech company. There's no sort of big corporate conglomerate behind it. There's no one making a ton of money off of it yet. Well, let's hope for the best. It seems to be, the people who are running it want to do the job of creating an actual.
Go to settings in Twitter, and you can turn off Grok AI training in X/settings/Grok settings.
Yeah, there you go. Listen, I still think people should look into going elsewhere. I also feel like if you do what I do or any political content creator does, I do think it is helpful to meet people where they are. And as of right now, people are still on X. I don't think those people should abandon it quite yet. I mean, obviously, use other platforms more if you think that's good for you, but I don't think it should be abandoned. It's not the same as like if it gets to the point where it's just like Gab, where it's just fucking far right extremists, then it's no point. But as of right now, it's still a mainstream platform with the broader public still on it. But no doubt, it's changed greatly, and like you just have a bunch of right wing users paying money to get their shit all over the place through the the premium algorithm boost. Angelin de Begashaki. If it helps cheer anyone up, on the bright side, I've had a great couple of weeks in my personal life. Yeah, I mean, I think people really need to. I mean, that's sort of what I when I was depressed about politics for this past year over Israel and what this country has done to the Palestinians. I was like, I gotta just focus on my family, and it was very helpful, honestly, to just like I didn't step away completely, obviously, but back off a bit and put your priorities elsewhere for for a while, and it helps. It really does help out. So you're sane enough to continue to do what you got to do. Jeremy Canned with a super chat. Just want to encourage everyone to call their state senators and express support for Joint Resolution 113. Thanks for the show, y'all. Which one's that?
I don't know.
A joint resolution providing for congressional disapproval of the proposed foreign military sale to the government of Israel. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
definitely.
We'll see how that turns out. And I'm not, Zero PE says Leftist Mafia left past 10 collab show next week. Probably not next week because it's our day next week.
It's our
special day.
Yeah,
it's our special day.
The week after, maybe though. We'll have to get in touch with them.
Lizzie Bennett with $10 super chat. Any thoughts on congestion pricing in New York City? I personally do see it as a good for funding the MTA and reduce traffic congestion, but I'm concerned about those with disabilities and subway's lack of accessibility. It's what everybody in New York City basically wants. Congestion pricing. It's going to help fund very important updates to the MTA. That I believe will help people with disabilities because it's going to help make subways more accessible. From my recollection of some of the infrastructure planned. I mean, I would say it certainly helps people with disabilities if there's less cars on the road in New York City and making the air and the environment cleaner and more pedestrian friendly. Literally everybody, the only people who don't want this are fucking rich people who drive into New York City. Seriously, that's it. And you could tell by which politicians want this and which politicians don't. 5 Republican congressmen in New York State have sent a letter to Donald Trump begging him to stop this. I mean, it's you just have to look at who's for it and who's against it, and you should. It's one of those things where your mind is very clearly made up once you see how the lines are perfectly drawn. There's like the fucking blue dogs, like Josh Gottenheimer in New Jersey, who wants to stop it because it's going to hurt New Jersey commuters who drive into the city. No working class New Jersey person does anything but take the PATH train into New York City. They don't fucking drive into there unless they're like, I don't know, like a contractor or something like that. And then they're a business. That's the cost of doing business. Sorry, you got to pay $9 to go into the city. If you're not making up that $9 in your contracting gig or job, then you got a real business problem. All right, let's go to Kowalski with a super chat. With the AI bubble bursting on March 15th, 2020, we are going to have so much scam economy content. Mike might not make it, to be honest. Sorry, Mike. Are you calling it? Are you saying March 15th, 2026? What is that date, Kowalski?
I think this is a prediction, right?
All right. Your mom just became a member. Thank you, your mom. Not my mom, your mom. Ryan with a $10 super chat. RFK isn't entirely wrong when it comes to the FDA. The FDA allows ingredients in food that are illegal in the EU and Canada. I mean, broken clock, right? Trump says things that we agree with every now and then because he's fucking just like throwing shit out of his ass. If you think like RFK Jr.'s number one priority is going to be the ingredients in food that are allowed by the FDA but are illegal in the EU and Canada, you think that's going to be his priority and not like banning the polio vaccine? I mean, you know, we know where RFK Jr. stands, and his first order of business is going to be going after vaccines.
Get your vaccines updated if you can.
It's like, you know, it's like saying, you know, Trump's right. That dude from Silence of the Lambs is not a good guy. I mean, Regex with a $10 super chat. Fucking righteous. I don't know what you're talking about, but everything is righteous. So there you go. Celeste with a super chat. Is Michael Moore alive? Haven't heard from him. I have no idea, nor have I really noticed, honestly. Very astute. Celeste. Where's Michael Moore at right now? We need him. Over on Twitch. Oh, I closed Twitch.
While you're doing that, I did get a couple more. Leslie, thank you for the super sticker. It is a lemon guy holding up a little baby lemon thing. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And then from Charlie, just a heads up, I'm she, her, trans. I'm sorry, Charlie. Did I refer to you as male? It's confusing with the name Charlie because I literally have family members named Charlie that are both male and female. So whenever I see Charlie in the wild, I don't know, and I usually default to he. Because the older family member that I have went by Charlie. So it's I'll have to remember that it's more of a gender neutral name, but thank you for the clarification, Charlie. We should know this since you comment enough. There was this chat, Matt. I don't know if this is for you or David, but this one came in after.
It's not for me.
Oh, okay, well, I think this is for David. I'll just read it. Ozzy, $5. Do you think there will be a drop in Republican support in 4 years, given Trump won't be on the ticket? 2022 midterms as an example of drop in support. I hope so. I really hope so. I don't know if things really do rebound in terms of the economy getting better. It depends on what the vibes are, honestly. That's kind of what this is about. With the way that things have been going, we've been going back and forth, one party, next party, this, like, so it's possible, but it's so hard to say. I genuinely don't know what the American people are going to feel like in 4 years because I don't identify with any of them, so I don't know. I shouldn't say any of them, but I don't identify with most of them. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. Okay, so on Twitch, do we want to raid somebody?
Yeah, who are you thinking?
Oh wait, hold on. Twitch, I got a few things on Twitch. One second. Hatter Hair cheered 100 bits. Thank you so much. Ox Pecker Cheered 100 bits. The Leftist Mafia is a good name, bold, but it sounds welcoming. But it sounds welcoming liberals, anarchists, and tankies. We should change our name to Oxpecker. Soy Breadword resubscribe for 2 months at tier 1. Subscribe for 2 months already. Woohoo! Thank you, Soy Breadword. And Justin Freakin. Thank you so much for the raid. Really appreciate it. And that's the show, I think. Oh my god.
One more super chat from Nadia. There'll never be legitimate elections again in any of our lifetimes. Optimistic note to end on. I hear the concern. And you got one.
Oh wait,
from
I just got one
Sarah.
more. Hold on. I just got one more. Sarah with a $10 super chat. That November 15th headline is only about if you're cool or not with Elon using your tweets to train AI. I personally don't trust him. It has nothing to do with leaving the platform. I DM'd you links and info. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate that. I'm gonna quickly look into it.
And also thank you to Nadia Moon, Steve Boots for the raids, and Tigwick for the gifted tier 1 sub. Do you want to raid Shauna Baker? She's an indigenous streamer. She's only got 6 viewers right now. Could probably really help her out.
How do you spell her name?
Yeah,
it's spelled capital S, then H, then A, then U, then N, then A, then B, then A, then K, E, R. Shauna Baker.
It says that she's playing Fortnite right now. Oh my god, absolutely. Gotta support my fellow Fortnite players.
And thank all the mods and all the chats. Every single mod and every single chat is keeping
Thank you
everybody up to date.
all.
So thank you all. Thank all the mods, chats, and all the
Yes.
chats.
Yeah, everybody
They're
in the
all
chat,
amazing
send your
and
love to them.
Oh yeah, don't forget next week is show 100. And we're doing it
And
on
we have
Wednesday.
a super special surprise. I thought we were announcing it tonight, so I put it in my title. There's a big announcement, but it's happening next Wednesday. So get excited
Big
for it.
Big announcement, folks.
Be there at the beginning
Turns
of the
out-
show when it starts, 5:30 p.m. PST on Wednesday. Don't miss that start.
Right. You know, we've been hinting it with the name change. Turns out, I'll give you another hint. What's the opposite of left? That's the new name of the show. That's right, baby. We going right wing. Right wing grift right here.
Bye, y'all. Love you guys.
Take care,
See you.
everyone.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, I didn't raid yet. Hold on, you guys raided? Hold on. What?
Yeah,
We gotta do it at the same time.
I already did.
All right, I just did it.
You did it? Okay. All right. I'm going to end the stream. We'll see you all next week.